Yo, what is going on, everybody, and welcome back. You were on episode 26 before, now we're on episode 26 and a half, and I gotta say, it's all Dreadpool's fault. Dread, do you have anything to say for yourself right now?
I am so sorry, guys. I didn't think my sidekick would have started anything and shut down everything. I did it earlier and had no issues, but I guess they didn't like that, and they just came down with a swift hammer. So my apologies. I'm sorry.
You know, the closer I get to like 5,000 subscribers, like their algorithm will notice like shit I do on this channel a little bit more. You know, the more kind of like subscribers you get, the more they're gonna look at the channel. Yeah, for people who don't know, you know, Dredd had a really great idea. He came in with his Deadpool kind of like talking head, and he had that kind of go off as the intro, and I guess YouTube didn't like it, and you know, because of where we are in the state of streaming platforms and stuff like that, we got to deal with YouTube, we got to deal with Twitch, and we got to deal with Trovo, basically. You know, shout out to Mixer. They never really gave two shits about anything copyright, anything like that. Yo, shout out to that streaming platform that does not exist anymore. But Dredd, it is good to have you on. Like I said, you are picking up the slack that Dark Optimus has kind of let out there, man, and I appreciate you being on, bro.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me in here to be a stunt double. Like I said, I didn't expect to do that, so you know what? I'm gonna pour one out for him and Deadpool head.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think that made his beard blush right there when we got cut off. All right, well, yo, next on the list in terms of intros, because that's right, guys, we are doing intros. We are getting right into it, man. Yo, coming live from the 405, my brother who has been here from the beginning, and I still don't know how he has any type of sanity left. K-Mega, how are you doing, bro?
Man, I just play video games during the show. That's what keeps me sane. That's what keeps me going. Matter of fact, I'm at the end of Ghost of Tsushima, and
Tsushima.
I might Toshima.
Oh, you said it right. No, that
Tsushima,
was the closest.
Sushi, whatever the hell that you want to pronounce it. Again, I'm almost at the end of it, and I might get done with it, but before we get done with the show, so that will be pretty cool.
Nice. Indy, what is up, brother? Yo, it is good to see everybody getting back into the chat so quick. Thank you guys so much. Live shows, man. Live shows, yo, we can get some real big headaches, but I think I brought the show back in enough time. And hopefully you guys are still excited, because I know I am. Next on the list when it comes to intros, you guys know him as a hardcore Gears head. I know he plays other games, but one thing I think we all know he is not afraid to share his purest opinion when it comes to gaming topics. Crispy, what is up, brother?
BATTLETOADS!
Oh,
there you go. I didn't drop the I dropped the U, bro. Like, all right, man. Like, I gotta say that looked pretty fun. So I'm excited. I mean, I hope it becomes online at some point. I mean, it said couch co-op, so I'm hoping that online comes online at some point. But
I'm hoping that
also,
online comes online at some point.
Yeah, see, I had puns going there. Yeah, there you go. And Grounded. Don't sleep on it, motherfuckers. What I've been saying. Yeah.
Damn, he just took our first two topics and he said, you know what? I'm just going to talk about them now. That's it. We're done. That's not the way it works, though, Crispy. But as always, it's good to have you on here every Saturday, bro. And I know you're not going to hold back on your opinions, man. You already started just now.
You know it, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
Woo!
Yo, and next on the list, man, I absolutely love having this man on this panel here every week. Not only does he get into games, does he play games, but he also looks at the financial side a lot more than a lot of people do out here in the community. My brother Predator, what is going on, bro?
Not much, man. Just ready to get in these topics. I know we got a long show tonight, so you guys just put your seatbelts on.
It's not a long show. What are you talking about, long show?
It's gonna be a long show.
Dude, you think we're known for long shows? Like, what the hell is going on?
It's gonna be. It ain't gonna be as long as K Mega show last night. That shit was like fucking 8 hours. But
Yeah.
God
K Mega
damn.
need to change his channel name to Jerry. Was it Jerry Lewis? Marathon.
GRG was not as long as last week's next podcast.
Nah, don't even. Yeah.
Not even
I don't
close.
know.
It was 3 hours and 12 minutes.
That's
3 hours
it?
and 12 minutes. Yeah, that was it.
Oh,
was it.
please. I did an interview for 4 hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And next podcast was like 4 hours and something. So come on now.
Yeah, I add the time like in the beginning and the end, like the pre-show and the post-show. That shit counts.
Well, whatever the case may be, but no, last week's GRG was really long. Now that was a hoot. That was a hoot. But so yeah, that's why
I hear
so
you,
damn tired.
Portal. That's what I'm aiming for, man. When the show originally started, I said an hour and a half, and that's it. That got blown away at about the third episode of the next podcast. I just want to let everybody know that. Guys, let's get into the topics and a pretty big announcement, at least in my world. Some people said that this game was canceled. Some people said this game would never come out, but we got a brand new trailer for Battletoads coming out August 20th. And man, I gotta say, what I saw from this trailer, all the different types of gameplay, from side-scrolling to the traditional beat 'em up style, to the racing, having the camera, from your back looking forward, the Space Invader type gameplay. I gotta say, I am really, really excited for this, and I am gonna go, of course, to my brother K Mega. Mega, did you see the new trailer? Did you hear the announcement? August 20th, bro.
Yes, I did. Absolutely, I did.
Dude, what did you think about the new trailer? Do you think that, because there's a lot of people out there, the whole cartooniness of the game, people are like, I don't like the aesthetics, all that good stuff. Do you think they did a lot of changing in there, or do you think that they possibly just presented it better? What's your opinion? What do you think about the trailer, man?
Well, no, the game looks 10 times better than what it looked like at E3 last year. I didn't get a chance to play it because the line was long, but Bloody, Op, Game Down Sites, and somebody else, I believe, I forgot who else said that they played it last night on GRG, but they all played it and they all loved it. They said that the combat was great. Like they said graphically, oh yeah, Super G, but Super G wasn't on GRG, but Super G was also, he was just like, man, he said the combat was dope, but man, it just looks odd. It's just too goofy looking for him. And so when I'm looking at it, I had to make a choice, because when I was in line, I was like, man, I don't know. It looks okay. And I said, I'm seeing Ghost Recon over here, Bleeding
You went for
Edge
Ghost
is
Recon,
over
didn't
there.
you?
And actually I ran into, I seen Shannon Loftus, and then so me and her started talking for a little bit. And so, I got out of line. We talked for a little while, and then I decided to go back to Bleeding Edge. I was like, I'm not getting back in that line again. So I never got a chance to play it, but I did watch it for a while, and the combat does look cool, but at the time I just wasn't feeling it. I was just like, man, I wish it looked a little bit different, things like that. So I wasn't really ever excited about the game personally. And then they showed this trailer, and that has got a lot to do with it, of making not only that the game looks better, but the fact that the trailer makes the game look overall better and fun, and especially adding all those different elements to the game, of giving you back some of that old video game nostalgia. You had some of the from like the very first Battletoads, where you was dropping down at the bottom of the of whatever, some kind of hole, and then you're doing the Space Invaders thing, and like little Galaga stuff. It looked really fun. So I gotta say, I'm thoroughly impressed by how it looked like now, and then just overall how from last year, or just a couple of months ago, I just wasn't on my radar. Now I'm over here like, man, I actually want to play it. And Streets of Rage 4 may have something to do with that as well, because there was a lot of people that was tripping about that, talking about why they couldn't make that game look more realistic. And as if you played Streets of Rage 4, that's definitely one of the funnest games this year that's came out. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Mega, one of the things, because especially like the last couple weeks, graphics have been under a microscope, and there's people talking about whether demos and stuff like that were in kind of like early development, all that good stuff. Could it just be the case that when the demo was playable at E3, maybe that was just an earlier build of the game? Because I don't really see much difference, man. You really do see?
Oh yeah,
a lot of difference?
it's a big difference. Okay, just take well, if anybody's going
Roof!
to E3, that's in the that's in the chat. They'll definitely there was a game that if you look at it now, that game looks completely different and actually better. And that game was cool too. Biomutant. I got a chance to play that game. I played that game for about an
I have
hour.
no interest in that game, bro.
That game is fun as hell. And I didn't either, because when they showed the trailer, I was like, this is kind of weird, goofy little furry thing. What? But when you play the game, it's pretty damn dope. And then when they showed the trailer now, because it's coming out, I think next month in August, I think, because it's what is this? I get the days mixed up. Oh, it's August.
It's August right now.
So I think it's coming out this month. So it's basically and way it looks compared to when I played it last year, night and day. It looks 10 times better. And the game looked good then. It just seemed like there were some things missing. But it just tells you just what the developers can do in a short amount of time to make a certain game look a certain way, and then it looks even better. But no, Battletoads look absolutely fantastic now compared to what it did at E3.
Wow, that is really interesting, because like I said, I didn't see any difference in terms of aesthetics, but we are moving on down the panel here, so I am going to go with the man who is taking up that slack. Again, thank you, brother. I really do appreciate it. Dark does put out a lot of slack, by the way. Like, there's slack everywhere that Dark goes. But, Dread, did you...
Oh, my bad. Somebody said Biomutant isn't this month. So I don't know. I thought Biomutant was coming out this month. But I'm going to look that up.
I don't know. Like I said, it hasn't been on my radar. When more information comes out, like when it starts getting closer to release and they start putting more information out, I know I'll run across it and I'll talk about it then. But in terms of my gaming library, that game's not really on my radar right now. But let's go to Dreadpool. Dread, did you check out the trailer?
Well, of course.
Of course you did.
I mean,
exactly.
We keep on hearing Xbox saying Battletoads. I mean, anytime you see that, you don't even listen to the music. You don't hear nothing. You just hear you screaming that out. It's like what is it, Pavlov's dog or something like that? One of those scientific things. You see something, you hear it. I'm not seeing food and drooling. I just hear you screaming out Battletoads.
Well, brother, I gotta ask you, what do you think? You heard K Mega. He said that there is a difference aesthetically to what we saw in this trailer. Again, I point to all the gameplay. I think that is the main hook of this trailer, to show that there's more than just a beat 'em up. And the lady's texting me right now, of course. But I think the hook is the gameplay. But what do you think about what you saw from the trailer? Was there an improvement in your eyes? What did you like? Was there anything that you were a little kind of like, I'm not feeling that? What are your thoughts, bro?
I didn't go back to the original video that they showed us, to promote it. I didn't think about going back to it. I liked what I saw. It was cartoony, but it's like I said before, Earthworm Jim. All right, somebody else mentioned it, so I'm not going to take the credit. But it was just kind of like Earthworm Jim. It's cartoony. It fits with what it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to have something like this realistic, could you imagine realistic bullfrogs running around like that? We talk about Conquer being realistic, and it wouldn't fit right because it wouldn't look right. That's why when it comes to certain games, they have to have their own identity. And if this game's identity is to look like a comic, then let it be like that. Why do you guys care? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, do they look like real turtles to you? No. Did they look like that in the movies? No. But did we play those games? Yes.
Well, I want to get a turtle just to dress him up like Leonardo, by the way. You think I could do that?
I'm sure you can. I've seen people do that, and it's just no. They just don't have the ninja skills.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I don't mind it. I yet again, it's one of those things. I see it for what it is. I don't want to put more into it than what it is. Do I want more? Yes, but it's also the creator's artistic decisions, right? So if I were to make something and then someone's like, you know what, I don't like it because it doesn't this. Well, that's not your vision. It's my vision. All right. Let me have my vision. And if my vision is out there for you to enjoy it. Who cares? So I'm okay with this. The only problem I have with this is I'm already running out, and it's a Game Pass issue, right? So Game Pass is causing me issues with Battletoads, and here's why. I just started Grounded. I'm not going to finish it by the time Battletoads comes out. And what am I going to do? I'm already on gaming ADD. I'm going to be on Battletoads. So I might not be able to have a chance to finish all these games before the next one comes out.
Ooh.
So
that is probably the one downside to Game Pass, especially with how many games they are putting into this thing and stuff like that. I can definitely see that being an issue, but you got to admit, Dredd, it's a pretty good issue. You'd rather have that than the other way around, right?
Well, exactly. I'd rather have that. I'm already living that life now. Gaming ADD, baby.
Yeah. Love it, Dredd. Let's get the next member in here. Let's get Predator in on this, because I'm interested to hear what Pred has to say about the new Battletoads trailer. I'm pretty sure he checked it out. So, Pred, what are your thoughts? Did you see anything different? Is there anything that sparked your interest with the new trailer? And are you surprised that it's actually coming out? Because I know people thought like the game was canceled.
I'll say I was a little concerned when they didn't even discuss it at the show last week or whatever, a couple of weeks ago. So that was like, I started scratching my head. Okay, maybe they push this game back to next year and they're going to show it another time, or maybe they show it in August. I had no idea they're going to release it in August because they hadn't talked about it. It's like a stealth release basically. Just boom, here it is. And we were talking on GRG last night. I kind of thought that they would at least given it a little bit of space during the show, and they didn't even, like I said, they didn't even talk about it. So, and I don't know if that's something they're gonna do going forward with their games like that. But I thought at least deserve the spotlight on the show.
Okay.
But
or even the pregame, maybe, right? Like,
yeah, even the pregame, yeah. And then say, hey, here's a release date, even if it took like 5 seconds, like something like that. And it was just kind of like a Twitter post, you know what I'm saying? So, and I've seen, Sony's done stuff like that, but it's usually like a bigger scale game. They'll mention something, but like Battletoads was kind of like under the radar. Some people were kind of on the fence about it. I mean, I personally would not spend $60 on it or $30 on it. But since it's coming in Game Pass, I'll definitely try it. But I will say a game looks a lot better than the first showing that we saw of it. It looks a lot faster. It looks a lot.
It does look faster. I will give you that one, Brent.
It looked super slow before, like this everything, like the mechanics, everything didn't look good at all. But this, what we saw the other day, looked fucking 10 times better, man. And it looks, I mean, it just kind of brings you back to the roots of the old cartoon. It looks exactly like that, with the exception of some like the girl, I forgot her name.
The queen. Oh, man.
Queen, yeah, she looks
the main enemy.
Yeah, she doesn't look anything alike. I mean, it just kind of takes you back to those cartoons back when I was a kid. And people can talk about the art style and stuff like that, but that's what Battletoads looks like. That's what it's supposed to look like. So it's not supposed to look like the rash that we got in Killer Instinct, but I mean, I think people kind of wanted that kind of look. Like they wanted to be up-res and look more modern and stuff like that, but they kept it at the roots and tried to honor that. So I mean, you can't really be upset about that. But
dude, I said it looks like you actually control a Saturday morning cartoon. That's the feel I get from that whole thing. Yeah,
I mean, it just when I was looking at it, I was like, is this a cartoon? It was just a game, a lot of people don't know what Battletoads is or was. the younger generation, like we grew up with it. Some of us did in the panel. I don't know about everybody, but like it was we grew up playing that game back in the day. So like a lot of people, like the younger generation, they're thinking it's probably a knockoff of the Ninja Turtles or et cetera, et cetera. So that when those young kids pick this game up and they can't fucking finish it, they're gonna be pissed. They're gonna be pissed. But I'm looking forward to seeing not just the reviews, because I know you don't really care about Metacritic, but just not the scores, not the scores themselves, just to see the reaction from the people who actually play it. Because what was the other side scroller beat 'em up we were talking about a minute ago?
Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage. When that first came out, people were like, "Oh, what the fuck?" This isn't what we want from Xbox, et cetera, et cetera. It was kind of like a stealth release, whatever. But when people played it, they're like, "Okay, this is fun." You start seeing it in your timeline more and more and more. It's kind of like Grounded. Like, I know we'll get to that at some point in time tonight too. But like,
oh, you're the first person I'm going to for that one, bro.
When people put their hands on the game and actually played it, they were like excited about it. So I'm curious to see the reaction from the community when they actually play Battletoads.
Yeah,
it was a joke, with among us, it was a joke. And in the community, it was a joke. It was like, anytime fucking J-Dubs would do something, he put that little meme up there, the toad just fucking like, going all slow and shit. And I don't even see that shit anymore. Like
J-Dubs, I call him J Muted because that's exactly what I did to his Twitter page. Like I don't see anything from him. But dude, you're right. Like at one point in time, this was a joke to people. Like not to me personally. Like I stuck by it. I thought the game looked good. I liked the aesthetic, and I like what Rare said about the game. Keeping the difficulty of the original Battletoads. I think that's going to be the hook right there. And I saw somebody in the chat. Let me see who it is real quick. Somebody said, I think it was Portal. Yeah, Portal player. He said that, this game will be beat in a few hours or so. According to what Rare is saying, if they keep that difficulty that the original Battletoads had, and puts it into this kind of like remake, this newer Battletoads, I don't think it's going to be beat in a couple hours. There might be some really hardcore gamers that will play nothing but that until they beat it. But I think the majority of the community, I think you're going to get a substantial kind of like game that might actually frustrate you, might really get you like on the verge of throwing your controller, which I absolutely love, by the way.
You want to know something?
What's up,
I
Jay?
still haven't beaten the Rare Replay one.
No, I bet you beat the arcade one though in Rare Replay, right?
Yes, yeah.
That was so easy.
That's the whole thing. It all depends on the difficulty, and some people forget on how difficult the old games were back in the NES Genesis days. We were playing on CRTs that had literally no lag. I mean, the lag was so minimal. You had no one even knew what that was. All right. Now we have these TVs and these consoles and everything's wireless, and you know what I mean? So there's a lot more stuff going on now that we have to consider and take over. So when you're doing this stuff, that's all we had to play. We only had that one game that we got for Christmas. Now, I'm sorry to take up the time, but that's all we had, So we concentrated on it, and that's all we played. Now we play like how many games in one day?
Dude, when Battletoads came out,
different.
Yo, Dread, when Battletoads came out on Nintendo, it was a badge of honor to go into school and like I beat that game.
Yep.
Like people would look at you like, yo, you are insane. That's how difficult it was. I am hoping for that back. We are going to Crispy, and I saved Crispy for last because of his tweet. And again, I am so proud of you, brother, for seeing the light that is Battletoads. But what did you think about the trailer? What did you like? Was there anything that you thought was iffy? And do you think there was a change? Because besides the speed of combat, I am going to sit here and defend this post. I don't think that they changed the artistic kind of like nature of the game, the aesthetics or anything. I think they just made the fighting a bit quicker. But what do you think, bro?
I will say this, like, you sit there and you watch a video and you look at it for a second and you're like, my God, I'm having flashbacks from my childhood. What is going on here? And by the end of it, with the whole genre mashup, and how you are playing, like, I mean, these are all different types of games that I played all in one, and not just that, like, and I'm sorry, it does look different to me. It actually feels like the exact amount of cartoony that it should be. It feels like a Saturday morning cartoon now. Okay. And on top of it, you're playing multiple different games in one game. Technically, because of how different every like stage or whatever it's going to be will be to you. And you some people won't understand it. Some people will just enjoy it for what it is. But me, it's like playing on Sega, Nintendo, everything else, like that's what we had.
Yeah.
So it was pretty incredible. I was like, wow, they actually did this. And it's giving me Streets of Rage 4 vibes, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like at some point I got frustrated and I was like, I put the controller down. Now, not necessarily not to go back to it at some point, you know what I'm saying? But I'm the type of person, I never play on easy. I don't care. I don't care how pissed off I get. I'll put the controller down. I'll go to another game. That's the way I don't play on easy, because at least at normal, that's what they intended you to experience. You know what I mean? So I'm sure they're going to have some kind of like it. And hopefully if you're playing couch co-op or something, maybe they have something where you could play as a lower level compared to somebody else. You know what I mean? And that would be more enjoyable for everyone. You know, and that's where
No, you
Xbox
throw
is
everybody in one difficulty. I'm sorry, bro. We're not going to hold hands when it comes to this game. You throw everybody in same difficulty.
Don't know how to play these games, dude, at all.
Well, that's why you're here on this earth, to teach them the glorious news of Battletoads, bro. That's what you got to do.
Well, I'll tell you, like, there's some people that beat Cuphead, and I'm like, really? Like, you're like 20 years older, 20 years younger than me. Like, what the hell?
Really? Real quick, I want to give a shout out to a special shout out to my brother Swazi in the chat. That is my bro, Swazleans. He also lives in Connecticut. We used to hang out together every single day, drinking bottles of whiskey, getting crazy, having a great time. And it's good to see you in the chat, brother. That cheap whiskey, remember? Those bottles of cheap whiskey, bro. But,
which whiskey?
Dude, we didn't care. Like, the cheaper the better at that point in time, man. But yo, let's move on, because like I said, we got a lot to talk about. So let's get into a game that has released out in the wild. It is in Game Pass. It is not necessarily finished yet in terms of the story, but it is a survival game, and I see a lot of people having a lot of fun with this game. And the funny thing is, this is one of those games that out there on Twitter was being used as a joke as well until it came out, and that is Grounded. And guys, I gotta say, when it comes to survival games, you know, like Ark and stuff like that, I'm putting Grounded right up there with Minecraft. Absolutely love the environment. I love kind of like the look and feel of the game. I you know, the building and all that good stuff. I am down for it all. And to me, the spiders are some of the scariest shit in video games. I swear to goodness, man. When I had a spider drop down in front of me, did not know it was like on the ceiling of a cave, and it just dropped down and then went after me, I screamed like a schoolgirl. I swear to goodness. I dropped my controller and I screamed. Absolutely insane. I am going to Pred on this though. Pred, dude, I know you played this game. What do you think, man? What are your pros and cons when it comes to Grounded, bro?
Well, I've only played, I guess the early release when we were on the show a couple of weeks ago, and then I played with you guys, you and you and Mel, the other day. So I haven't played it since then. But what I played, it was like, if I didn't have shit to do, or if you guys would have stayed on, I probably would have stayed on playing a little bit longer. But like, you get lost in time playing that game. Like, you just jump in there, you start doing shit, and start building shit, and next thing you know, 4 hours have passed by. So, but yeah, it's fun, especially when you're playing with people that, you know, that are that know what they're doing, like you guys. So like you guys taught me a lot when I was playing the game. So that was fun because I gone in and gone solo and just started playing and doing some random shit, I probably would have gone this bullshit. But that's what I think Microsoft is trying to push for, like get people involved in playing games together. Something we kind of got away from for a long time. Like people get in there and they get in party chat and they don't play with the random strangers that we used to play with when we were younger. Before party chat became a thing, you just start playing with random people, make friends. Now we just play with friends that we already know in the community. The only concerns I have about it, because I didn't get as far as some people have, but I don't know if there's an end. From my understanding, like there's only one mission in the game, and it's kind of short. You can still craft and do everything. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I've heard this.
Yeah, there's one mission, like, as you keep going, there's one kind of like baseline mission. You got to do something, and once you fix that, another part of that mission opens up, and then another part, and then, you get to the end of that. But I got to say, in my opinion, with it being a survival game, with you having, like, crafting and stuff like that, that doesn't really bother me so much that they don't have, like, the rest of the story there, man. But keep
because
going.
I know they're going to keep adding to it at some point in time, but as with any game like this, how frequent are those ads going to be? Like, I mean, even with Sea of Thieves, you can sail around as much as you want to, get as many chests as you want to. But at a certain point, like, you're going to run out of shit to do until the next thing you know, you're waiting for the next update to happen. And so if they're consistently pushing out updates for the game, cool. But again, we're still in, this is preview still. So they probably have something in the works that they're going to drop at some point in time. I'm just curious of how long this game's going to be in game preview. Is it going to be a year? like some other games we've seen before in the past, or is this going to be okay? We're going to put in preview and then February we'll launch the full game. So I will say, from the first time I saw this game to what I played the other day, it is night and day. Because when I first played that beta, the first one they had, I was like, this is some bullshit. It was janky as fuck, and there's still some stuff they need to work on, but it looks a lot better than what I initially thought it was going to look like. Even when we had the Xbox show a couple of weeks ago, I was like, Grounded looks a lot better now. Like, they kind of polished it up a little bit. So, but I mean, it's number one on Steam right now.
Still?
Yeah, that was. Imagine we were on the show yesterday. I checked, but like it's number one on Steam. People are playing the shit out of it. I see a lot of people streaming it and stuff like that, and so it's doing what it's supposed to do. People can talk shit about the cartoony graphics. They can talk shit about it looking like a cartoony game, a kiddie game. But if people are playing it, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. That I love the fact that one game came out, another game got announced. They were kind of like we said on Twitter and social media, they were used as console war bait, and people made fun of it. And now with Grounded being out, and you said it's still number one on Steam right now, that's really funny. It's really funny to me, bro.
Microsoft has, out of the top 10, I think they have 4 games, maybe 5 in the top 10 on Steam.
Damn. Yeah, what people are saying about Microsoft being a PC publisher and what they're doing on the PC in terms of PC Publisher of the Year, man, they have been on it over there. And of course, we get the games over here on Xbox as well. So it's good to see more gamers getting in on games, enjoying things that are different, not relying on one certain genre. And waiting for those types of games, the more kind of like one and done, unless you like replaying a story like 4 or 5 different times. It's good to see that going on. Let's go to Crispy on this one. Crispy, have you played Grounded yet, bro?
I played it for a very short period of time because I went in.
You got mad
as soon as it launched, and my God, it must have kicked me like 50 times. I swear to you. And it was funny because I'm like, why is this happening? I understand it's in preview. I get it. And then I see all of the people streaming it and everything else. And I'm like, holy crap. So then I eventually just started watching people do what they do. And I'm like, well, I'm not necessarily sure if this is my type of game because I haven't played it because the damn game won't let me. So, but at the same time, I'm like, man, this is entertaining as hell. Like, some of the people that are really they're not maybe arachnophobia, but they are scared of spiders.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. So entertaining. Like screaming like a little schoolgirl. You know what I mean? Every one of them. They're like, where is it? Like it's just hilarious.
One of
like,
our panel members being one of them, because I saw his clip on Twitter, and we're getting to him. But yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, I mean, and that's I don't know, like you could say it's cartoony, whatever. It gives me like Sea of Thieves vibes with like, you know, like the way it looks, you know what I mean? Which, you know, Sea of Thieves is not really my thing, but Grounded Sea is more my thing because, you know, I can attack things easier, and you can kind of figure out where they are, and I'm actually, you know, intrigued about that. Like eventually, like if you go into a certain area and you understand the whole map, you're going to be like, okay, well, I'm going into the shit zone where I'm going to...
Oh, yeah, dude, I have designated, there's like 3 shit zones in the backyard that I'm like, you know what? I need supplies from there, but I am not going by myself, bro. No
I've
way.
seen people leave their full backpacks with like, okay, like, nope, I ain't going back there.
I'm not going back there.
There's like
four
7
spiders.
spiders.
Yeah. Nah, I'm good.
Like all of a sudden, they like turn the corner, like, another spider, what? Run! And I'm like, this is just like, I could watch people play this game, and that's what's pretty cool about it. Like, but I have been saying don't sleep on it. I saw it for an hour when they were just showing the game out, and it was like May, I believe, and it was like at the after show type thing, and it was pretty awesome. Like I was like, okay, like I'm not gonna like shit on this game because it seems like it has like so many different little like nuances about it that make people want to play it. Like it feels like Minecraft and Ark, and it makes you feel like, you know, especially for us older, you know, somewhat older people that have grew up with Honey I Shrunk the Kids, like we never really had that. You know what I mean? Like there's like on Steam and stuff, there's like bug games, like you can play as a bug and like control the bugs and do this, but we never had like that realm where you felt like you were in, you know, Honey I Shrunk the Kids, and that's pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know, I'm extremely intrigued. I think it's going to do really well. I think it's going to be even bigger and bigger as they actually do a full release and everything. And I'm actually happy that they went in preview, because I mean, previews they've been using it, but I mean, certain games they just throw it to the wayside and be like, we're doing a full launch, and then it feels like a preview anyway. So you might as well do preview, charge people less money, you know, especially if it's on anything but Game Pass, and you just continue to do that. And I think Xbox is starting to get smart about that. Say, hey, the game's not completely ready. We want to have your feedback, everything else. We want to know what's going on, you know, what bugs are in there, you know, not really bugs, but they're all bugs. I mean,
they're all bugs.
You know,
they can't debug that game totally, man. They can't do it.
It's not possible. That's Obsidian, though. Like I said it a while back. Like Obsidian, when they got Obsidian, I was like, holy crap! And Ninja Theory was right there with it, but I thought Obsidian was the bigger one.
A lot of people said that, and now seeing kind of like their attention to detail in Grounded, where you're dealing with gnats, you're dealing with all sorts of different insects that you can kind of like craft things out of and stuff like that. Their attention to detail has been kind of like a pleasant surprise for me, because you can kind of just go in generally with, you know, just a general sense of insects in the backyard. But when it comes to like lawn mites and stuff like that, what could potentially hurt you and what is just really there and it's going to mind its own business, I thought that was really good. I do want to give a quick shout out to David Tomato. What is up, brother? Good to see you. Met this guy doing trials in Destiny 2, and he had a clan that they were going for a triumph. Me, my son, and one of our clan members decided that we were going to help them out. It is good to see you, brother. I appreciate the shout out, man. That is awesome. But yeah, yo, to me, Grounded, it looks like, and I think a lot of it depends on what Pred said, Crispy, in terms of content coming out. I think they do have to do that in in a timely fashion. I don't think that they can come out with like an update like once a year. And I don't think they're gonna do it because it is in game preview. But they can't do something like that. They can't let the game go cold.
One thing I'll say is I think Obsidian, even though they are great at what they do, they really are. They give you either really like good narratives, like I mean, Outer Worlds is just still like a game I just keep going back to, just playing by myself. You know what I mean? Because like I don't want to overdo it where I'm like, okay, this is getting annoying. But at the same time, like they give you great conversations and stuff, and like this game is totally different from that, and that just tells you. I mean, I think it was like 13 people working on this game, and I do believe like it's gonna go up to like 60 to 100 because of how popular it's become already. I think if they knew how much fire this would be, they would have released it full release, but they you know it's kind of like Bleeding Edge, like. You know, they're trying something new.
Well,
you know
brother,
what I mean?
our brother Husk, ACS Husk, and I think we all know ACS Husk. He said that they're going to be doing monthly updates. That right there, in my opinion, is the way to go. Every kind of like 4 weeks, you do a new update, bring something into it, bring another part of the story into it. I can dig that. Monthly is the way to go. What do you think, Crispy?
Oh, absolutely. With this game, definitely. And this is a proven model because like Minecraft in the beginning really did stuff like this. So, I mean, it makes total sense.
That's
and,
a great point, sir.
And you know, Minecraft and Ark, like Ark is constantly updating itself. And like, you know, my girlfriend's son loves Ark, but he's also starting to get into this game because it has a little bit more simplified as far as, you know, I mean, Ark has a lot involved. Like I watched him play it. I'm like,
Ark has a major grind to it to get all the materials you need for certain things.
And I think Obsidian kind of eliminated that grind for people. You know what I mean? Even Minecraft, like the way it looks, like I'm sorry, Grounded looks better. You know what I mean? For now. Let's see what the ray tracing does. You know what I mean? But as far as like I'm concerned, like I don't like the blockiness of Minecraft. I don't like it. And that's why I never really played it.
Dude, the graphics actually get people sick in that game.
You know, and that's the point I try to make. Like Obsidian is doing something that they never do. They do single player RPGs. That's basically their whole thing. And for them to come out with a game like this, it's impressive. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I definitely hear you on that. We're gonna move along, and of course, I am gonna go to our brother Dreadpool. And I gotta say, before we get into Dread, good to see so many people in here talking games with us. You know, the chat has been off the hook. Shout out to my brother Z Black Rider. What is going on, bro? Guys, if you haven't done it yet, either hit that thumbs up or thumbs down. If you're being entertained, I don't know why you wouldn't hit that thumbs up button. And please share this out. We did have technical difficulties. Deadpool decided he was going to talk on the show, so we had to start over, which is why we are on episode 26 and a half right now. But let people know that we are live. We are talking the gaming news, and let people know that you are being entertained right now. And on that note, Dread, did you talk about Grounded? No, right?
No,
okay.
I haven't.
I'm losing myself as a moderator here. This could get crazy. So, Dread, have you tried Grounded in Game Pass, bro?
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, we need to hear your thoughts, man. What's going on?
Here's what I didn't realize it was still in preview. So I'm looking at it. I'm thinking, because I did part of the beta test, that 30-minute thing that they had a while back.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what's going on with this? Because I found a glitch that I had to report on, and not a big deal. But other than that, it was just something minute that I found. But I had a fun time playing it. And you know how Dead Space, everybody's like, oh, that's so scary. And I'm like, that's not scary, dude. It doesn't scare me. The only thing that scared me in a game was Alma in Fear. Right?
Love Alma.
When you're like, did I just see what I saw? You know what I mean? When you first run into her.
When she flashes in the mirror.
Yeah.
And say, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, holy shit. Well, that is what the spider did to us. I love spiders. I don't have any issues with spiders. But when you know that you could be taken down by one, and at first it was like, oh, check that out. All of a sudden it was like, oh, oh shit, I'm dead.
Yeah, it
All
comes right at you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, all right, the first time wasn't that bad, but now it's like, okay, now I got to be a little bit more cautious, and we've got wolf spiders, we've got huntsmen,
Orb
there's
weavers.
yeah, well, I'm talking about here where I'm at, literally
Oh.
in real life, and they're as big as my hand, right? And you can hear them walking on the sheetrock, tapping away as they walk. You can hear the footsteps. Okay, so now, yet again, like I said, I'm used to this stuff. This is nothing, but I'm playing this game, and now I'm like very cautious when I see a spider. I see some webs. I'm like, all right, where am I looking? Where am I going? You know what I mean? I actually did kill 2 spiders, and I'm still only in the grass armor. I haven't even gotten that far.
Hold on, did you do it by yourself or with a crew?
By myself.
Oh, he took it on solo. He is
Hell
the
yeah.
Conan of the backyard right now, man.
So, but it was cool, and they were both wolf spiders, so I didn't have to deal with the orb ones. The orb ones were difficult to even try to fight, so I was like, screw them, I'm out of here. But my daughter is sitting there watching with me, and we both kind of jumped. I just did the little jump. If it was my brother, he would have had the little girl squeal that we call it. Hee! I always make fun of him for that. That's what my daughter did, and I was like, wait a second. Oh, okay, that is my daughter. That is a little girl. That's not my daughter.
That is a little girl.
But it was fun. I had a great time. We talked about Ark, right? We talked about Conan, and Conan, I was able to go further along than I could with Ark. Ark, every 5 minutes, I'm dead. I'm like, what the just killed me. There was nothing here. I went swimming. There was nothing there. I'm walking over here, and all of a sudden everything just, or another guy just comes right by and just annihilates me. And I'm like, dude, I just started. You're not even giving anybody, a chance.
No, they see you naked. That's
it.
Oh
my God. Yeah. Literally, it's like done. Like
Conan the Gardener in the chat. Oh my goodness.
So, I had fun with it. I've been trying to meet up with a few of the other creators and Twitter peeps that we have, and try to play together as a co-op. I just haven't had time to sit down when everybody else is doing it, and but I'm looking forward to trying the co-op online with everybody.
Let me know when you're going in, man, and if you guys need another person.
Okay. Oh.
Unless I'm making dinner, or doing some type of everyday activity right there, I'll definitely jump in with you guys.
Yeah, we don't need you on the throne while you're playing.
Although it's in Game Pass, so I could
it is in
do
Game
that.
Pass.
I could do that. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, though, the game is very polished. For as cartoony as it is,
and game preview,
so much. Yeah, and it's in game preview. There's so much polish at everything you look at. Yeah, you look at the pebble, and it's round, and it's got some angles to it. There's nothing special. But you look at the grass, you look at the way it responds. Okay, I'm playing right now on a 1080p TV, and it has a glow on the grass when when the laser's glowing through it. You saw it in the video, so I'm not ruining anything for anybody. But you could see the glow, you know what I mean? So you could see all this stuff. They did really good job.
And dude, nighttime looks extraordinary.
Yeah.
It is really creepy at night. Like you don't want to go too far from your house, man.
I don't go to sleep anymore. I just play all the way through.
Nice.
And I mean that figuratively in the game and literally in life, because when I was supposed to go to sleep, I was still playing that game, and then I had to go to work. So guess what? I ended up going to work with no sleep because I got stuck in that game. I was just playing. You know what I mean? So it just like you guys, Ghost of Tsushima, you guys were doing the show and you guys were sitting there playing like, I didn't see these boars. I mean, it's like you can't get off of it, and you can't stop thinking about getting back on and playing and getting some more. And it's a silly cartoon game, right? It's what it is. It's a silly cartoon game. But just like Minecraft Dungeons, it gets you sucked in. These games are more than just the quick, easy answer to dismiss a game. You know what I mean? There's more to this. And you have to play the games to understand them better.
Nice. Yeah, definitely don't discount cartoony games. I mean, like growing up, on the Nintendo. That's pretty much what we had. Every game, no matter how realistic they were trying to make it sound in terms of the story, they all had a cartoony aspect to it, and you can have a lot of fun playing cartoony games as much as realistic games. K Mega, are you okay? K,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I thought you were choking, sir. It sounded like.
No, wait a minute.
It sounded like you were joking. Well, K Mega, I saw your tweet about the spider, and I saw you running for your life, leaving somebody behind, for them to fend for themselves, which is what my oldest son did with O Snaps, by the way. Anytime a spider came along, he went running the opposite way, and if people weren't following him, they were left to fend for themselves. So, K Mega, what do you think about this game, Grounded, man? What do you think about its early release? Are you concerned about it not having its full story? Give us your thoughts and opinions, bro.
No, I jumped on the preview, and of course, me and Fred was playing it around the same time on PC because we couldn't get in on the Xbox. And the first thing that was the complaint was that, well, for what we've heard from other people until we actually played it, was that it just didn't seem like the world is not going to be filled with different bugs in that environment. They were already people just complaining overall, and then of course there was a lot of jokes. And then when I was playing it, I ran into like 3-4 different type of insects, and then I got killed by a weevil. And well, I got killed by a spider because it came out of nowhere and snuck behind me, scared the hell out of me, right? So,
dude, they're quiet too, man.
Oh yeah. Well, some of them are. Now, the ones with the white backs, they are, but not the wolf spider. But you could tell when that big batch was coming. But but then that was the only time that I got a chance to play it until I jumped in. And I was looking to see if people could, if I could see other people just playing around, so I could just jump in and they could just tell me what they thought about it or whatever. So I seen PK, so I jumped in there. There was one slot left, and so I was kind of way away from them, and then they were over here rounding up some materials and stuff like that. And so I caught up with them eventually. I had the hardest time because I had a pebble. That's all I had, and I was trying to kill a gnat, and that took for a minute because the gnats kept moving around. So I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Right? So, really, long story short, we linked up, and so they wanted to go into this one cave. Well, so we went into this one cave. I didn't have no armor or anything on because I was just getting started, but they did pass me on a weapon. So I had a little spear, and so he was fighting these nasty looking. I don't know what they were, but they were long, like creatures that was in the dark. And so we killed them and stuff. I died. Well, I fell down, and then they revived me a couple of times. And so at the part of the clip, we were on our way coming back to base. And then Logo had an idea, was like, "Hey man, we need these materials in this cave, but we know that there's a spider in there. We just don't know what kind of spider it is.
Gotta take them out."
Right, but we got to take them out. But it's 4 of us now because we was afraid to go in there. It was just 3. So now we got a different person. So let's go in there. So PK was like, "Oh yeah, let's go ahead and do it." So I'm like, "Are y'all sure?" Because y'all had to revive me like 3 times while I was over here fighting them damn things in that cave. So we go in there. We're getting ready to go into the cave, and next thing you know, you heard that, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" Because that was my first time ever hearing the wolf spider. And then what freaked me out was the fact that it because that they kind of lunge at you fast, but it jumps. So when that bastard jumped, I backed up, and that's when you saw the clip. And then PK just ran. So listen, I've been watching enough of these old movies, those horror movies. The black person, the first one to die. Hell no, not me, Jack. Hell no, I ain't that dude. So when PK started running, I started running. So dude was like, "What are y'all doing?" And so then he started screaming and shit. And I said, "I'm not looking back. I am not looking back. I'm not." And then PK tried to maneuver to get away from me so the spider can find me. Nope. I said, we go out together. So we got away, and he died. It was bad. And so, but yeah, no. The one thing that seemed overwhelming at first was the crafting, because when you get to the crafting board and you're looking at it, you're like, "Man, this looks crazy. How can you do it?" So with a little help, And then when you got the materials, and PK already had PK and those guys logo in them had a 3-story hut by the juice box. It was crazy, bro. It was like they had a huge ass fort, like 3 stories, and they were still building onto it, right? So so then they was telling me, and so they had everything partitioned into different sections to where you can for materials, and then everybody also had their own little material spot to where they can have their own location to go pick up the materials that they've picked up by themselves, but also for anybody that need extra parts, they separated them into like about 6 or 7 different little pods, which was really smart. Like they had it all planned out, and I said, how long
It
have y'all
sounds
been
like they
playing this?
played Minecraft before, man. Like,
Bro, PK said I've been playing this. He says, he says it's only been about like 3 or 4 hours. And then Loco said, hell no. He said we've been playing this since 9 o'clock this morning, and it was 6 o'clock in the evening. That's how much time that left that they had no idea that they would been playing that long. And so I've only been playing for like with them for for that was in the first hour. And so when you look at the crafting and all that stuff, but then with a little help, it's not hard at all. It's not like Ark. Ark is just completely insane. I gave up on Ark and uninstalled it. And I don't really usually do that. I try to give games opportunities, but Ark was just too frustrating. So but it's really easy to get on to pick up, especially with the crafting, as long as somebody tells you, or if you're really good at reading stuff detailed like
mhm.
that. And then man, it's just a blast. And then there's crazy things once you have you set up a fortress or whatever, and I don't know if Bot, you might know this, but then they were like, man, just go to sleep. And I'm like, what am I going to go to sleep? I said, why don't we just sit back and chill and try to put some lights out? He says, no, just go to sleep. We don't want to freak you out. And I said, what you mean freak me out? He says, Buddy's coming. I said, but who the hell is Buddy? Anyway, so they went in the little tents and went to sleep in the fort. I'm going to stay up. Who the hell is Buddy? Next thing you know, you start hearing stuff, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And I seen 2 big red ass eyes looking at me through the top of the hut trying to get in. I freaked the hell out. I said, bro, I'm out of here. I'm outta here. So not only that, you got insects that's trying to break down, at nighttime, the predators come out, which will spider, stuff like that, but they can tear down your fortress or parts of your
Yes.
fortress, things like that, which is insane. It's really a clever game. I
Mhm.
I had a lot. I
That
enjoyed the hell
attention
out
to
of.
detail, bro.
Yeah, I played it for about 5 hours, and then
Damn.
everybody was tired, and they just they was like, man, we've been playing this ever since 9 o'clock this morning, so it was already like 11 at night. So we so yeah, they really put in the time, but yeah,
Mhm.
I'm definitely going to go back and play it. I just want to finish my time with Ghost of Tsushima, and since I'm close to the end, I'm going to go ahead and knock this out
And
tonight,
then go back to that. Yeah.
and then give Grounded a chance. But no, I really do think, yeah, it's coming to show 2 things: the narratives that some of these stands has been bringing up about these games with these cartoon graphics is making them look really ignorant right now, because it just shows gamers just want to be entertained. It doesn't really matter what the aesthetic, or if the game is a triple A strong game that's strong graphically, or if it's just a game that's fun. Because if you have Sea of Thieves, which they was making fun of, the Kraken's Lack and all that dumb shit, and then now you see Sea of Thieves has been in that top 3 or top 5 in on Steam for almost for what, month and a half now. And
Yeah.
then you look and you see what's going on with Grounded. That's number 1. You see Flight Simulator that's on PC that's doing fantastic. You see other games, that you see the Master Chief Collection, which that got ripped apart, and and you see all of those games that where they say that this is the reason why people don't want to buy or want to support Xbox games, and then they just had Death Stranding and Horizon Zero Dawn, and they're getting beat by these cartoon looking games. It
Mm.
just that's one narrative right there is out the window. That's why they're quiet about it. And then the other narrative is that for once we can actually we can pay attention to see that the for Xbox for picking up Obsidian was really, really smart. Now I still say Ninja Theory it's for me is the best bet. It's the biggest
It's
of
the
them.
diamond out of all the acquisitions. Yeah.
Diamond out of the rough. But it's really going to be interesting at the end when they really show their big blockbuster games, because of course I like Bleeding Edge a lot.
Well, Obsidian,
And
they did the trailer for Avowed.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what's going to be very interesting, because now we're going to see what Ninja Theory is going to bring to the table with Hellblade 2, and what we're going to see what Obsidian is going to bring with Avowed, with them having financial backing from Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? I think when it comes down to it, we're going to be looking at a lot of these studios that we didn't think that was going to just be, that they were just going to just bring filler games. They're going to bring some juggernauts to the table.
Yeah, they're gonna do both, man. Like, yo,
yeah.
Mega, we've stated multiple times that these studios, they have different kind of like teams that are branched off. They have people working on AA and they have people working on AAA, and I think especially with Obsidian right here, it's a great example of that. They're doing Grounded, they're gonna keep supporting Grounded, they're gonna put in the story and stuff, but there's still another team working on Avowed, which is, if the cartoony kind of like survival game isn't your cup of tea, you're looking at Avowed being like, damn, that looked pretty good right there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. but that's it right there. Is like, now we're starting to see that gamers aren't really giving it. The whole narrative about Xbox has no games, that's gone. That's out of there. And then these games as a service, they're only going to give you little filler games that nobody's going to enjoy, and and all this other stuff. And now you're starting to see, now they're adding this content. Sea of Thieves, my God, I can't wait to jump on that tonight and play that new thing, because this dude's doing some Dragon Ball Z shit, calling in meteors, spitting fire, bro. I can't wait to jump on that. Just shows that everything that these people have been saying bad about these certain type of games, just because they didn't look a certain way, they're kicking those games that look strong graphicaly's ass right now. Gamers just want to play good games, and they want to have fun playing them. So it is what it is, man. It's just a great time to be a gamer.
Nice. And yo, I gotta say, I've been watching the chat. Shout out to Dragon Wolf. He said if they bring a praying mantis into the game, you better be prepared real good. Now, Dragon Wolf, that is something that I have predicted they are going to do. And can you imagine the size of that praying mantis? It's going to have to be some type of like epic like boss battle or something like that. I could definitely see that. Yo, X-Hawk asked if they have frogs in this game. Not yet, but and that's something I haven't predicted. So
if they do we get furry wings too?
Do we get? Oh no!
Where we're going with that.
Then you'll get eaten. Then you will definitely get eaten, brother. Yo, shout out to Dragonheart Yobi using his member emojis real quick. Yo, good to see that, bro. Yeah, have fun, man. Go at it. There's definitely a bunch. As we get more members, I'll be able to put more of those emojis in there, and I have a bunch planned. So hopefully we can get some more members in here. Again, to the chat, if you have something that you want us to say, if you have a question or something like that, always feel free to hit up the super chat any point in time. It changes the color of, your whatever you're typing in the chat, and it lets me see it a lot quicker, a lot easier. Other than that, I just kind of go through the chat and I pick out different things that are being talked about. And by the way, the chat, you guys are knocking it out of the park right now. Speaking of knocking it out of the park, let's talk about Halo Infinite, people. And I know Predator could not wait for this. Before the show today, man, he was predicting that we might go 45 minutes talking about Halo. I said, dude, I think it's going to branch off into a bigger topic. So let's get in on this. Now, first off, let's start with 343's response to what people have been saying about the graphics for Halo Infinite. And I'm just going to paraphrase here. I'm not going to read exactly what they said, but basically what they're saying about the look of the game. And that's not really the fidelity, all right? The fidelity is how crisp and clean the lines are, but the actual look of the game is kind of like an homage to Halo 1, 2, and 3. In other words, In other words, 343 decided that they were going to listen to that hardcore, old school Halo community that has been complaining for absolute years about the look of Halo. And one thing I want to say before we really get into it and I pass it to the panel members or whatnot, one thing I want to let people know, I am a part of this Halo community. And one thing I've seen from that quote unquote diehard old school Halo community, when they talk about the game, they're not necessarily talking about the story. What they're more upset about was the multiplayer and the fact that running and clambering and stuff like that is in the game. Now, within that, they have took it upon themselves to freely criticize everything about the newer Halos, the 343 Halos, and stuff like that. That's where I feel that 343 made the wrong decision here to listen to the old school Halo community, all right? Because at the end of the day, what they want is they want Halo 3 multiplayer over and over and over again. They want those strategies back on how to take out other Spartans while playing multiplayer. I don't think they really care about kind of like the evolution of the graphics when it came to the Halo campaign. But I digress. I am going to go to the panel on this one. And let me start with Crispy. Now, Crispy, I know this might not be the best place to start because when it comes to Halo, you haven't been really into Halo. You're just getting kind of like into it now. But what do you think about 343's response here in terms of the look of Halo Infinite? It's an homage to Halo 1, 2, and 3. That's the reason why they chose those type of pine trees. That's the reason why they chose kind of like the armor style for the enemies and stuff like that. Do you think yourself if that was a good move or if they should have stayed more Halo 4, Halo 5-ish? What are your opinions, bro?
I will say this. It did look plain Jane, as I like to call it. It was very, I don't know, like the scenery looked great, but then like the characters didn't have the detail, which I think is more because it's early, an early build that they were showing, and they're thinking out of the box for them. I mean, Halo 4 and Halo 5 look great, and I don't understand why they like moved towards, it basically gave me Halo 3 vibes, which I loved, but at the same time, it's like, we're in a new generation. Why are you going to do that? And I don't know. It's hard to say. I think, aesthetically, the gameplay wise look great, but the visuals weren't there. And, we can go back to Craig the Brute, but I mean,
dude, real quick about Craig the Brute, I just want to let you know, if you go to the clip right before the one that was used, you will find a lot more detail in his face, a lot more shadowing and stuff like that. Like, that was that one kind of like clip real quick, but the one right before it, it looked night and day. And I know people out there will try to say that's an excuse or whatnot. You can say whatever the hell you want to say, but if you look at the clip right before it, the kind of like texture, the detail, it was night and day. But go ahead, bro, my bad.
But and that's my point, is that I don't feel that's that's what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, the only thing I can always go back to is Gears 4 beta, and it would look horrible. Like, it looked horrible, and the game looked amazing after it was all said and done. And I'm like, okay, because like,
wasn't the beta 1 year before the game came out though?
Gears, it was about 9 months.
9 months. Okay.
But Gears was known for that before that. You know what I mean? Even Gears 3 beta, but it didn't look like that. You know what I mean? But we were also playing on older consoles. You know what I mean? So we were used to what they gave us. And it was like, dude, you might as well play on 360. Like, that's the way it looked. You know what I mean? And kind of what I felt from Halo, but at the same time, I saw a demo, and I'm like, okay, like even if they did this a few weeks ago, because the times we're in, it's hard to bring all these new assets that you're adding as you go, because textures and all these other things. That's why some games get delayed, because they don't have quite amount of what they want out of the game itself, or especially with them building it so early and not being in the new generation and trying to appease the Xbox One crowd and the Series X crowd may becomes a problem, because you're trying to make sure that they run on all of the platforms. But at the same time, you hear ray tracing coming after and this and that. It kind of makes sense, because they're trying to release a complete game, but at the same time, it might not blow our minds completely. But I'm more into the gameplay type thing, and it really blew my mind with that. It felt like I was like in Doom with Halo all in one, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Crispy, I think when it comes down to it, even if the graphics don't blow people away, like I really liked kind of like the scenery, minus the pop-ins. And of course, they weren't using a Series X to show this demo either. They were using a PC. PC does not have the velocity architecture, all that good stuff. So I can't really go in on the whole pop-in situation. But if they ever do show it on the Series X, or when it comes out, if there's any amount of pop-in, I'm going to put it out there, just because of what these companies have been saying in terms of the speed and the elimination of texture pop-in or whatnot. But I really feel that the environment, I feel like the scope of this game, I think a lot of people are underestimating. It didn't have its greatest showing when they showed the gameplay, but I feel like the maps are absolutely huge. The amount of exploration is going to be insane. The wildlife in the game is going to surprise people, I think. I think there's a lot in there that might not... This might not have been the best demo to show all that. You know what I'm saying, Crispy?
Yeah, and I just want to say this, like, because I watch multiple... Like, I understand, like, people say media bias. This is one of those things where most people were extremely excited. I mean... I even saw Greg Miller sitting there silent for like the whole showing of it, and said that was the best part of the whole show. So, I mean, you take it as it is, and you understand that, I get it. Like, I get why it looks that way. I really do, because I actually played through Halo 3. That's the only one I played through the whole thing. You know what I mean? And it gives you those vibes of Halo 3 and Halo 2, Halo 1, but at the same time, like, I hope the texture packs and everything else, they come out before that, and then they can bring the ray tracing, and I think it'll look even better than it already seemed like it was going to look. I just felt like it was just an early build.
I do gotta say, when it comes to the weapons, I like the smooth kind of like metal look of the weapons and stuff like that. I know there are people out there who are like, I don't even like what the weapons look like. The Magnum, I don't really like that. It looks like a 45, and that's it. I hope they do come with a more classic Magnum. But I do have to say, like, there are certain things in that demo that I thought looked really, really polished. And for what you're saying, Crispy, 343 did come out, and they did say that they were in agreement in terms of fidelity, in terms of, like, the enemy armor kind of like looking like plastic. And there are ways that they can quickly kind of like fix that. And I say quickly in terms of game development. So it's not a one-day thing, but it's pretty quickly where they can show a more of a metallic hue into like the armor pieces and stuff like that. So I have a feeling this game is going to look even that much better when they release it.
And Xbox, especially these game studios, they really take our feedback seriously. They really do. And maybe that's a fault of their own sometimes. It happens. But at the end of the day, at least they freaking listen to us. I'm just saying. Nice.
And, to the chat. Chat's going crazy with Craig right now. Craig is the all-knowing, the all-powerful new mascot for Xbox. You guys, he is the Chuck Norris of the gaming industry, just to let you guys know that. Yo, go out there, create the most creative memes you can with Craig's face. I already put him on He-Man. I put him on Lou Ferrigno's Incredible Hulk. I put him on Thomas Edison. I got a black and white photo of Thomas Edison, and I put Craig in there as well. Guys, go crazy with it, man, because for the people out there that are creating these memes to try to make people upset, you know what? Own that and just make it something absolutely fun to do. I mean, that's something I've been doing. It's been a lot of fun, and I suggest everybody else do that as well. Let's go to Pred, because I know Pred has been waiting to talk about Halo Infinite all day. He woke up today and he's like, oh man, I know Xbot he's gonna do me something good here and give me a Halo Infinite topic. Pred, what do you think about 343's response to graphics? Do you think it was a good idea to listen to the old school Halo community? I think 343 was a little, I think the reason why they did this, or the reason why they listened to that old school, is because they wanted to make a bigger game in terms of exploration and stuff. And I'm excited for that kind of like old school vibe of being able to go and explore out of the realm of where you're supposed to be at that point in time. But what do you think about their explanation in terms of the graphics of the game, and of course, you know, how they said they're going to improve the fidelity of it, bro?
Kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't, right?
Yo,
like,
for real.
And it's like this with every, you know, community of, you know, a game where it's like it's got a big, you know, following, right? They make a change, half the people are gonna hate it, half the people are gonna like it, you know. So all I hear from the Halo fans that I know is like how much they loved Halo 3 and you know, people wanted this.
Yes.
But, you know, so why is there so much complaining about it?
Because they're never happy, brother.
Yeah,
They're
never happy. I mean, you go through it with Destiny, you go through it with I go through it with Ghost Recon, they go through it with Call of Duty. It doesn't matter. Like, they want the exact same game every single time. If that's the case, then why make a new game? You know, so and this the art style is something that, you know, it's not going to bother your gameplay. You're still going to enjoy playing the game, and people that are complaining about it right now are going to be the same motherfuckers playing it when it comes out. Because I mean, they're going to buy the game, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Or play it on Game Pass. Either way,
buy it, play it on Game Pass. They're going to play it. It doesn't matter how you want to spin it, but they're gonna put a lot of time in the game. So like, unless you're just like a really like fucked up, faulty, like something's like completely screwy with it, you'll just get used to it and you'll move on. You know, just like when, I mean, I wasn't in the community like you are. So like, how was the community's stance when they put the sprint button in?
For Halo Infinite, or when they first put it?
When they first put it in.
When they first put it in, they put it in Reach, and a lot of people were not happy about it. But it was a special ability. You had to pick between that or the overshield or the jetpack. You couldn't just automatically run. So some of them thought it was acceptable. And then, of course, after Reach, you get into Halo 4 and Halo 5. And because these old school Halo guys, they couldn't use the same strategies anymore in Halo multiplayer, they got completely pissed off. Yeah. You get used to playing a game a certain way, and then you can't do it anymore, and so you have to just adapt and learn new techniques, and that's that's what it's going to be. And so the people that are complaining, that hate it or whatever, when the game comes out, they're going to play it, they'll get used to it, they'll adapt. So I mean, like, get over it, people. Like, it's a video game. Like, you're going to play it. It doesn't matter. I love your take on that, man. And yo, I feel like it's really unfortunate that, you know, 343 decided to listen to the old school Halo community at this point in time. But I also think they are very, what is the word? Opportunistic. They were very opportunistic, and they were like, well, you know, this part of the community wants that old school Halo back. If we bring back that aesthetic, we can make this game absolutely huge in terms of scope. We can make this really big. You can really explore and stuff like that. Do you think that might have been part of it in terms of, you know, because it is a more simplistic look, they can definitely add more to the game then, right?
I mean, like, you can, I mean, everybody's talking about it's a game as a service. They're gonna start selling you things. There you go. You're gonna buy skins. So there you go.
There
You
will
can
be
make
no season passes, by the way. I'm trying to tell people this. And of course, they're not hearing me until it comes out when they say no season passes. Then it'll be a different story. But, yeah, microtransactions, of course they said that, no real money-based loot boxes in this game. But there is going to be some way that, the developers, the publisher, kind of gets their money over time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just hope they don't do Call of Duty it too much. You know what I'm saying? Like dance moves and shit like that. Like that's not Halo. But I mean, they're gonna make some money off of it somehow. We'll figure it out later. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'll be one of the top games on Steam again. I think it's gonna sell like crazy.
What about on consoles though?
On consoles? Yeah, I mean, because not everybody's a PC gamer. So I mean,
Yeah, you got to remember that, Pred.
Yeah, and not everybody's gonna play it on PC. And I mean, did they mention crossplay at all?
I mean, they have talked about it from time to time. I don't think anything absolutely official with this game yet, but I would almost guarantee that there's going to be crossplay like at launch with multiplayer.
I assume it will be too.
All right. So. Well, all right. So let's move on. Let's go to K Mega real quick. K Mega. Now I know you are a Halo fan. I know this. I've played Halo with you. I played I believe Halo 4, I believe Halo 5, we have dabbled in a little bit over the years. What do you think about 343 and kind of like, going back to the Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, more simplistic art style? And before you answer, all right, because I gotta shout out my brother Axel 1324 hitting up that super chat, brother. He says, "Is this the official Battletoads podcast?" Stay tuned. That's all I gotta say. Stay tuned. But K Mega, what do you think about 343's response here? It's not really that, it doesn't have anything to do with the system or the game engine, but they picked this kind of like atmosphere, this environment, these graphics because that old school Halo community. Do you think that was the right call, bro?
You got to commend 343 to listening to the diehard old school.
Dude, do you know how
Halo
toxic
gamers.
that community is, bro?
No, I definitely
Ooh.
know, but let me finish.
Okay.
And you got to give them props for that because I mean they are a part of the the reason of why Halo is in the position that it's in.
Okay.
And I understand that there's people that want that old school feel and things like that. So I'm cool with that. They listened to them. They did it. Now, this is the problem. They're not going to ever be satisfied until they get Bungie to take over Halo again. That is the absolute fact. And that's never going to happen. The best that you got is the people that didn't go with Bungie when they went somewhere else that still stayed with 343. That's all you get.
Hold on, real quick. And you're making a great point right now, but I didn't do something in that super chat that Axel really wanted, so I have to do it for him, bro. You ready? Battletoads! Okay, K-Mega, I'm sorry about that. I had to do it, man. Super chat, bro?
It's fine. Make your money. But it's this is the thing, though, man. Pimp yourself out. I mean, it is all right. It's all right.
Wow.
But
He went there.
But it is the thing to where it's become problematic now because now everybody wants to complain about that. The word that's going around now, #aesthetics. That game looks that way for two reasons. One is because it's not fully ready for prime time, and two is because it has that old look, and it's going to look better, but I don't know how much better. That's the question because it has that old feel, and people will still probably say that Halo 5 overall will look better because they went with that futuristic look, and they looked more modern compared to what they did with the old style Halo. There are games that's available right there for you, and it's called the Master Chief Collection. All really 343 needs to do is just do what you've asked for years, is give them a Halo 3 remaster. I mean, remaster, but um, some kind of like celebration thing, and put it on the Master Chief Collection, and let those people go away forever. Let them go
Go away.
forever.
Go. Shoot.
Forever.
Shoot.
Shoo. and let 343 do what they need to do by making this game bigger and broader than letting us keep going back to the ways of nostalgia. What I think the 343 is going to do, and I think you or Fred said this just not too long ago, was that they're going to add a whole bunch of skins. We're going to get a whole bunch of different looks. And one thing that I did like what 343 said last week was that we're going to implement everything from every Halo into this game. Eventually, we're going to do. This is basically, to me, what it sounded like was the swan song for the old school Halo fan, and and what they want from Halo. This is we listened to you, we heard you, we give it to you. This story is all about Chief. We heard you. This is what this story is going to be about. We heard you, that you want this same old school Halo 3, Halo 2 aesthetic. We got you. We did this for you.
But dude, then they weren't happy when they saw it, man.
I know, but this is the thing, though. This is where 343 is going to get their ass. Is that they're now, once that's done, once that story is over, and they start bringing out those expansions, they start adding that other content that's going further, they're going to go crazy. It's just like what Don and other people have said. It's like they when they showed the demo, they didn't want to show too much to get them pissed off by showing the clamoring, by showing a little bit of the run, but they wanted to let people.
They did show Clamber.
I know, but what they did was trying to let people like us understand that we hear you too, and we're going to keep some of the qualities that people loved from Halo 5 into this Halo. And so, but then you're going to have, but also like when you go through this open world areas and you start finding different things, I think what they're going to do is add different perks or upgrades, and you can choose if you want to be more of a Halo 4 or a Halo 5 Spartan. Or
at least in the multiplayer, I can definitely see that.
I definitely see that. Like, when they said that they're going to put a little bit of everything from Halo 1 through 5, that gave me a sigh of relief, because I don't want the multiplayer to go anywhere backwards. Listen, they have those modes on Halo 5 where you could just play without any running, without any ground pound, without any boost, nothing, just completely old school. Matter of fact, the people don't even, you can't even use, I think you still can. No, you can't, even those modes, you don't even think you can use, you have your customized thing. I think it's just blue, red. That's it. So, and when we played those modes, they're awful. They're old. I'm like, I don't want to go back to this. This was the reason why I didn't play Halo 4 multiplayer that much. Once I got into what Call of Duty offered to gamers, I couldn't go back. I loved Halo 4's story, but I didn't get into that multiplayer, because I'm like, man, why is this dude can't run? Why are we doing this floaty ass jump over and over again? It's getting me killed. But I want to, do some other stuff. That when they implement those things in the multiplayer in Halo 5, I cannot see myself going back and playing that. If I'll play, of course I'll play the game. But if we see the multiplayer and they try to glitch and they try to just pinpoint just the old style, and they won't have extra modes for where we will feel like we'll get a little bit of both the best of both worlds with Halo 5's multiplayer and then the old school Halo implemented into the multiplayer, I ain't going to be on this multiplayer. I'm just not. I'm going to play the game, I'll support it, but I'm not going to buy that game. I'm just going to Game Pass, and that will be the first Halo game that I have never bought. So they can go ahead and they can fall on the sword and still hear the complaining from all these old school gamers if they want to, because they'll never still be satisfied, even if they made it just like fucking Halo 3, as you already seen and heard. Make sure that you progress the story. Make sure you progress the universe, progress the game, and make the game feel more fluid than it's ever been. And it looks like it's going to be that way, but make sure that you have those abilities to make gamers choose don't let us go backwards. That's all I'm saying. I've never seen a damn anything. Like, I mean, let's look at what Battlefield 5 is suffered from, and for what World War the Call of Duty that was about World War II. Everybody was like, I'm done with this. I'm through. I don't want to do this shit no more. I want to go straight. Let me just get modern weapons. Let me get something. That's exactly how the Halo community should be. It's like, look, we don't want to go back. We don't want to go back. Period.
Nice, brother. And I knew, man, I knew you would be spirited as soon as I went to you on this topic. Because like I said, I know kind of like some of your history with Halo. We've been in this together, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
like,
I mean, it just blows my mind. I won't. I see Elite saying you won't play. No, I will not be on that online like that. I'll give it a shot. I'll try it. If I can't run, I mean, look, I'll take some sacrifice. If you take the boost away, okay, because you got the grappling hook or something. I hope
that's
that there's some kind
definitely
of
happening. By the way, they're not. Boost is not in it.
I don't know. They might add.
I can almost guarantee my son, like I said, my son went to 343. I was right about the Spartan abilities, but unfortunately, when it came down to it, they decided to take boost out, which I was really big into boost. Like I would square up with somebody in multiplayer, and as soon as my shields went low, I would boost to either side and continue firing. You know what I'm saying? And the big thing was they didn't know which side I was going to boost to. So, you know, I would catch the advantage there, but it's not going to be there.
It gave a option. See, this is the thing too, is that like when you it gave you a one-on-one with somebody to where it was almost like a fighting game, like a miniature little fight. Like if you sit there, if you boost the opposite way, or you boost the same way on top while you're trying to hold the gun on them to shoot and just do everything, and people can make all different types of maneuvers. There was one time, and I that was on one of my streams where I jumped over a guy. The guy slid over me because we was both ready to make our moves. I boosted on top of something, jumped up in the air, ground pound. I missed him. I heard him, but I missed him. And then he sat there and since I was already weak, he dotted me twice. It was fantastic. I hated that I got lost that battle, but that's the stuff that that is just absolutely fun within Halo 5's multiplayer. If you can do something like that with the grappling hook, I get it, but don't take away the ground pound and especially the run and the slide. That would just be, I don't know, man. Like I said, I couldn't get into it like I did 5.
I know for a fact that boost is not in the campaign. Now, when it comes to the multiplayer, and this is a topic we're gonna tackle right after this. Of course, multiplayer is.
I just want to read somebody what they said. They said Halo 5 was the worst selling Halo game. No, it wasn't. It was the best selling. I don't know why people keep saying that. It broke records in 4 days.
Yeah, they were really happy.
Records. They broke records. Why do people keep saying it's the worst selling Halo game? It is not. It did just as well than a multiplat with Call of Duty. Just look it up. $400 million that they made. This is when they started doing that crazy stuff where they didn't want to tell about the sales, and then they did and said, hey, it was over 5 million. Call of Duty came out when they dropped one of their Call of Duties, and they said they had 400 million within the same amount of time, and then that article told the numbers, which was 6.5 million copies sold. Come on. If people still think that Halo is at like 5, 6, 7 million to this day, you are kidding yourselves. And don't think about the money that they've made off of those packs. When people can spend money on it, you don't have to spend the money, but I guarantee you that there was people that was buying packs. Hell, I buy packs every once in a while myself. So this notion, while they keep thinking that Halo 5 wasn't successful, they wouldn't have put that much money into that engine if they didn't think that Halo was going to flourish any further. Promise you that.
Great point on that one, especially with the new game engine that they're using and how much they put into to invest in that game engine right there. When it comes down to it, we don't know the exact numbers of Halo. We know within, I think it was, I believe, the first 5 weeks or so. That's when, I think it was Frank O'Donnell who came out because so many people were talking shit on Twitter, and he came out with that information to shut people up real quick. But yeah, no, if anything, maybe Halo 4 might have been. the kind of like the worst selling, which was still successful anyway because it's a huge franchise, and
Right.
we're talking about people's wallets here when we should be talking about games. Let's be real here. So
Facts.
yeah. Dread, you have been quiet for a while. You have been waiting patiently, and I'm pretty sure you want to dive in on this. So, what did you think about 343's response in terms of what the Halo Infinite looks like and how it's an homage to Halo 1, 2, and 3? So, in other words, there's nothing really wrong with the engine. There's nothing wrong with the Series X or the computer that they were running this on or whatnot. It's basically, they're answering a part of the community that has been really loud for years about what they feel they want from Halo. Do you think it was a good move? And what do you think the outcome's going to be, bro?
Well,
big question, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of questions all in one.
I roll that up, man.
The thing is, a lot of these people are the same people that complain about Star Wars. When they say something is an homage, they're giving respect, recognition, admiration, even esteem, adulation, acclaim, any verb you want to use. I mean, adjective, you know what I mean? Anything that you want to use, it's an honor to that, okay? It's a tribute that these people are forgetting. You're showing where you came from, right? You're respecting that. And if that's what they want to do, let them do it. It's their game. Let them do their game. And if that's, how they want to do it, yeah, that's fine. We've gone over this with, I'm a creator. This is how I want to make it. Shut up. Move on. If you don't like it, state your points, but be a critical with a certain finesse about, right, with the construction. You want that, when you sit there and you just tear it down, are you really tearing it down, or are you just jealous? You know what I mean? So, and that's kind of where it is, how, when it comes to Halo, I liked it. I didn't mind anything of it. The look, it was reminiscent of Halo to me. I didn't care if it was 5 or 1 or anything in between. You know what I mean? I just want to play Halo. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. I'm not trying to make excuses why it looked like that. It's their choice. Let them make the game. And as long as the game is playable and it looks good, I don't care if it looks like the first one. I don't care if it looks like the newest one. You know what I mean? As long as it does what it's supposed to do, and that's get everybody playing Halo, everybody enjoying the way we started going in, for the most part, the most of us getting into Xbox, because that was Halo. Halo is Xbox, plain and simple. Yeah, some people jumped in for Killer Instinct, or even later on and jumped in for other games. But for the most part, those two were synonymous as the same thing.
Yeah.
You couldn't have one without the other. It's like Wii Sports and the Wii console. They were the same thing. You bought one, you got the other. So when you're looking at it like that, the game looks good. Was it perfect? No. It was a build. It was a small build that they had to do. Are they going to pull all their devs and come together to build one little trailer for you to watch? Oh, some gameplay for? No. Why would they do that? You know what I'm saying?
They did that with Halo 2, though. I remember that. I know the whole story of that shit, man.
But they had to with Halo 2. But they didn't do every single person. They were
running so far behind on that. Oh, my goodness, yeah.
But I mean, it was one of the... They had to make that choice. I mean, look at what they did with the 360 console. They had to make that choice. Do we not take care of the red ring of death and just eat it and then make it through? Or do we just give up on it and then literally die? So it's a choice that they have to make with the game. Same thing they did back then with the console. Right, so it's a choice that they have to make. They got to show something. They want to show some gameplay. Yeah, we saw some popping, but when I watched it, I didn't watch it for popping. I was busy watching the action. Okay,
that popping was pretty horrible, though, man. I got it.
That bad.
Brother, I respect you as a gamer. I respect you as a person, and I respect your intellect. There are some things that I will disagree with you on, that is probably one of them right there. And
Okay, so Division Two has like one of the most horrible pop-ins I've seen when it comes to the trees. Everything's like 2D for the leaves. There's a big old cylinder brick that slowly turns into a car. Even on my NVMe, right? Not the SATA 3 SSD that everybody claims is SSD. The NVMe, which is 7 times faster than the SSD that everybody talks about, like the Samsung T5, right? So I'm 7 times faster than that thing, right? So if I'm that faster and I still see pop-in, okay? Granted, that game was never optimized for SSDs. It was never done like this.
there you go.
Neither was what we saw. You know, if it's running on a PC, okay, yeah. Did they make a mistake? Hell yeah, they did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was a mistake, but I'm not trying to like, oh well, you got to give it a pass. No, you got to look at it for what it was. Okay, and that's the thing. They're not looking at it for what it was. Should they have played it on a, I don't know, Xbox Series X dev kit? Yes, they should have. They should have shown what it can do, but they weren't showing what the Series X can do. They were showing what the game looked like. They were trying to show you Halo. They weren't trying to show you Halo on a Series X, which, granted, that's what they should have done.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's a two-sided coin. You got to look at it as what it is and make your constructive criticism there, okay? But they didn't say that it was on a Series X. They didn't say that it was this or that. They just said, here's your Halo. Obviously, it's an early build. Whether it was 6 months old or 2 weeks old, I really don't give a rat's ass. Well, long as when the game comes out, it comes out as perfect as it can be.
Again, like I said, I feel like 343 was first off opportunistic here. They're like, well, if we listen to this community, this right here, then all of a sudden, because they yell the absolute loudest in the Halo community. I don't know, Dredd, I don't know how much like you're into the Halo community, but that old school Halo community, they yell the absolute loudest. And I can see 343 saying, you know what? We're going to kill two birds with one stone here. We want to make a grander scope game. We want to make something that's more wide open, more exploration, stuff like that. Now, with listening to these guys and making a more simplistic style, we can definitely do that. And I really feel that's exactly what they did. Dredd, what do you think about them agreeing with Digital Foundry and talking about the fidelity? I can see where they can make kind of like the more quote-unquote plastic-looking armor. I can see where they can make it look more metal. Are you in agreement with them as well that they need to upgrade like that aspect of Halo Infinite?
They need to polish it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the thing. Whether it's plastic looking or metal looking, we won't know until we get the polish that they need to put in there. And the other thing is, look at how Minecraft, okay, I'm not trying to deter it, but look at how Minecraft looks with HDR, the ray tracing. All right, you add ray tracing and it changes the total look for everything. Now, why are we waiting on ray tracing on Halo Infinite? Why are we waiting on that? That should be coming out automatically. We shouldn't have to wait on that. That's the other thing. And I understand part of the thing is they want to push it out with the launch of the console. That hasn't happened in how many years?
Yeah.
I think that's because it's a resource hog, man. I think that's probably the reason why it's
But they're not using the same CPU. They actually have special dedicated ray tracing.
Hold on. And here's the thing. And well, first off, let me hit the super chat and then I'm going to talk about the whole ray tracing thing with you guys as well, all right? So, first off, shout out to Humble Beast hitting up that super chat. Thank you so much, brother. He says, it's all good that Xbox Game Studios have all the creative freedom. However, like Sony, Microsoft should have a standard mandated for visual quality that is consistent with their previous messaging. Hashtag 12T flops, baby. Brother, I hear what you're saying. We don't know what they're showing behind closed doors. And I think that's the point. I think that's something that Dredd said as well, in terms of them not using a Series X like dev kit to show this demo and all that good stuff. So we don't know what like Phil Spencer and other like higher ups in the Xbox division, and then even, you know, higher ups in the Microsoft Corporation, what they have seen either. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Don in the chat. What is up, brother? It is good to see you. He said Halo 5 for life, and I know that wasn't a super chat, but me and Don, we have been in the trenches when it comes to the newer Halo versus the old school Halo. Me and the Don, we went full steam ahead. We were first on the front lines to kind of try to battle all that stuff back. So it is good to see you, brother. But when it comes to ray tracing, on this, first off, Minecraft looked absolutely incredible, and we don't know if they're going to do absolute path tracing. But for the people out there complaining that ray tracing won't be a thing when the game launches, right? How come every other company can use the quote-unquote what's going on in this world to delay games, to do this, to not put stuff out and stuff like that, but as soon as it hits home on a first-party Xbox franchise, possibly the biggest franchise that Xbox has, then all of a sudden it's not acceptable anymore. All of a sudden we can't talk about what's happening in the world, and that being the reason why. I feel that is completely unfair when it comes down to it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, man?
That is unfair. It goes back to you can't have what I have. That whole mentality of na boo boo. All right, we're not kids. We're adults. When the games come out, they come out. Okay, you know, we need to critique them for what they have, not for what they don't have. You know what I mean? We should be sharing this stuff and making sure that we get the games that we want. You know, I have this game and you don't. Nah. Who cares? You know, if Halo doesn't come out right and you don't like it, then that's on you that you don't like it. But it's what the devs gave us. You know, you got to sit there and tell the dev, hey, look, you know, this is what I wanted. You know, if they listen to you, they listen to you. Remember, we are the minority, the loudest minority, right? Because we're the ones that are on Twitter, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're the ones that are talking about all this stuff and giving them feedback. But what about the other percentage, the higher percentage, which is the smaller people that don't really care? They just want to play the game. You know, we're being overly critical on something that, yet again, Halo 5 tanked, right? It tanked. It was the worst selling game, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
K-Mega got a response for that one.
But that's what I'm, you know, that's the whole thing is everybody takes a piece of truth or narrative that they saw and they go off with it. How many times this disease, this, that, and everything. And then you find out, oh, that was something that was pictured like 5 or 10 years ago doing something else that had something else. You know, you got to look up Snopes to find out how truthful this is. Okay. Everybody's picking up this nugget and they're running with it. How many times did people run around with teraflops? Okay. They had no idea what it meant. What about MIPS? They don't even talk about that because they don't know what that means. You know what I mean? What is a flop to them? Oh, I don't know. But it's I got a teraflop.
Floating point operation, sir.
Exactly. But they just know teraflop. You know what I mean? So they're spewing out this stuff. That's why when I say, okay, we have this information on the hardware, we have this information for the games, we need more information. There's still little bits and details we don't have. What we saw in the Halo was just a little piece of it. It's not the full game. So you're tearing it apart over something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why doesn't Craig have all this detail? Okay, well,
just look at the screen right before the one that everybody's using, and you'll see a lot more detail in Craig. By the way.
Yeah, but it's in progress. Let them finish it. You know, we had the whole Spider-Man Puddlegate. Okay, there was something that they tried, and they found out that the engine with the console couldn't handle it. It was going to cause issues. So they just took it out. It was something that they did as an artistic piece that it just wasn't going to meet up. Guess what? I bet you that puddle's in PlayStation 5.
Oh,
is anybody going to remember that if it ever comes over?
If they do that remaster, that quote unquote Spider-Man PS4 remaster,
be there then.
they're gonna have that extra puddle. Oh my goodness!
Right? You see what I'm saying? So everybody's nitpicking over all this stuff. We got to give them proper feedback. Just because we are the elites when it comes to all this stuff, okay? We're the gaming elite, are we not? Because we're always involved with everybody in the chat. We're involved with everybody on Twitter and within our circles that we all talk to.
We're researching information, stuff like
exactly.
that. Hell yeah.
I mean, as soon as we see something, we have like 5 different sources that we're looking at, and it's not just somebody retweeting something.
Most of us have 5 different sources. Some people just go with one source and run with that as like, God's hand real quick.
Right, but, and it's an unknown publication. it's that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, who the hell are these people?
Who is this?
And then it's like somebody just drew something up, and then, hey, that's fact. No, it's not. You took something and you ran with it. I mean, how many times if people done that? I mean, I've done that within like the little circles, and it's always been do you see what this guy just said? You know what I mean? Because they had no basis off of it. You know what I'm saying? And in the meantime, everybody else is retweeting it like it's real. Quit doing that. Let's just focus on what we have, give them proper feedback, and let them make their game. We will find out in the end if it's good or not.
I will say I think social media has an impact on the gaming industry more than what people think they have. And I've been thinking about making a video or possibly doing like a quick live afternoon show to discuss that, because I feel like, with social media being so intertwined in today's society, everybody using it for absolutely everything, I feel like social media has more of an impact than people actually realize when it comes to the game industry. I do want to say, shout out to my golfing brother, Sir X-Man. He said it's called race tracing or race tracking. No, it's supposed to be race tracing, sir.
Right.
I think that's tracing. Okay. I think that's what he's trying to say. Shout out to Mr. 100 for giving us the proper name for race tracing. Yeah, I apologize for saying it so wrong. But yeah, so that's interesting. But guys, we got more news, and I think this broadens out of Halo a bit, because it was first leaked by I want to say a toy store kind of like website over in Europe. I forget which country. I want to say German, but I'm not sure on that. But they came out with a promotion for. I'm sorry, Chrissy. What?
Smith's Toys.
Yeah. Do you know where they're based?
It's Germany, I believe.
It is Germany. All right. Look at Yobi going crazy with those emojis, man. Yeah. But all right. So they came out with an advertisement about the Series X and about Halo Infinite. Now, when they came out with this first kind of like look at it, they said, 4K up to 120 frames per second, and that was in the Series X kind of like paragraph. And then they went into Halo Infinite, and they talked about free-to-play multiplayer, and then social media just started melting. And to the point where Xbox actually came out, and they verified, first off, multiplayer up to 120 frames per second. I believe that is their aim. And, but I guess you could say more importantly, or more of what people are talking about now, is the free-to-play aspect, that they're taking the multiplayer and they're separating it from the campaign, and they're going to offer it as free-to-play. Now, the big thing about that, first off, first time the Halo franchise, anything like that has been done. But more importantly, when there were rumors about Halo Infinite's multiplayer going free-to-play, that came along with the rumor that Xbox Live Gold subscriptions will be going away. In other words, you won't have to pay an added fee to play games online multiplayer with Xbox moving forward. And I feel it's really interesting that one of those rumors came out to be true, and Halo stated that. So what's going on with the other one? Pred hasn't, talked for a while, so I'm going to get him back in here real quick. Predator, with Halo multiplayer going free to play, and I think we all know that was kind of like when it was a rumor, it was coupled with Xbox Live Gold going away. Do you think this increases the chances that Xbox is doing away with their gold subscription? They have Game Pass in place. They feel like enough people are going to invest in Game Pass, whether, console, PC, or whatnot, that, that's going to make up for any type of revenue loss. Do you think it is more viable now that Xbox Live Gold will be going away for the Xbox platform, bro?
Yes. I mean, you start reading like what you see, just the things that are happening with just the Game Pass and all the stuff they're doing right now. Like they've dropped the Xbox off of it and just made it Game Pass. They've gotten, I've seen stuff on the interwebs where they're talking about how like that some of that the verbiage is gone off of some of the games now. So it kind of looks that way. And I know, again, we were talking about this on GRG last night too. Like, that $60 a month that we spent, $60 a year, I'm sorry, that we spent on Xbox Live, that goes away, but they're going to make that money up another way. I guess it's through the subscription services. So, and with Halo being one of the biggest games, they'll definitely make up enough money with the microtransactions they're going to put in that motherfucker. So, I mean, I think it's a good move, honestly. I mean, I know some people are complaining about that $60 a year versus what you're going to end up paying if you have to subscribe to Game Pass, etc. But overall, financially, it's going to even out. It just looks kind of bad to us, paying that $9.99 a month or $14.99 a month if you want Ultimate. It's going to suck, but we're doing that kind of anyway with everything else in life. So I don't really see what the big deal is, especially with the amount of stuff you're going to get out of it. So. Taking down that paywall, that's something I've heard nothing. I mean, I've heard about for like 2 years now. Like shout out to Red Dragon. He's the one who I always see it from.
Dude, he was championing for that like from the beginning, man.
Yeah, and I mean I agree with him. Like that should be that shouldn't be something that we have to pay for, because I mean, like, I can just get Ultimate and get online on PC and play those same games without having to have Xbox Live. Whereas, because I'm tied to a box, I got to pay $60 a year for it.
Pred, hold on one second. I just got to respond to somebody in the chat. Shout out to Dual Purpose. Thank you, brother, for hanging with us another weekend. He says, remember The Last of Us 2 energy with factions removed. He's like, will they charge $60 for just the campaign? And he accuses me of not using the same energy when it comes to Halo Infinite's multiplayer being spun off and going free to play. And that is the big thing here. If you go back, and I know you were probably a part of the chat, when you go back when I was talking about that, I stated that they will charge people to play factions, that they are going to spin it off and charge you like $30 or so. That was my gripe. It wasn't the fact that they took it out of the game and that was it. If they said that they were going to make factions a free-to-play game, right? A free-to-play part of PlayStation when the actual game came out, I wouldn't have had a problem with that, sir. So, yes, I am using the same energy, brother, and thank you for hitting up that chat. I appreciate it, bro. And I'm sorry, Predator, but keep going, man.
I lost what I was going to say.
You were so into what I was saying to Dual Purpose that you just lost track.
I don't have a problem. I mean, like it's. I know
he was talking about Red Dragon and how how you agreed with him.
No, I was moving on from that. I did agree with him on that, but like the whole paywall thing, and I want to see it gone. I hope it's not just going to be Halo. for the console people out there. Like I want that gone completely from everything. Like let me play those free to play games online for free, just like you do on PC, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on the competitors out there to do the same thing. And that's how it should be, because it's like that everywhere else. Like there's some other things within Game Pass I would like to see them do, like instead of tying it to a console, tie it to the account. Like I would like to have my daughter's account under mine, so everything works seamlessly, and add one more console to it. I mean, one more person to the account, kind of like with like Netflix. I can have like 5 people on that motherfucker, right? So Spotify, I think I can add 4 to it. Like I want that. I want to be able to add everybody to it that uses it, and then they can play whatever games they want to play over time. Instead of me having to, like with Xbox Live, I used to have to get an account for each person and pay, for each person's yearly account, and I think they
or
have like
share
a family
with one other person.
share with one other person, because like I have myself, my 2 daughters, and my stepson, and they all game. So I'm not gonna buy. I mean, I don't want to, but like if they're really active, I mean, I'll have to do it at some point. But like me and my daughter game share, and my stepson, he just comes and goes when he feels like it. He's not a huge Xbox guy. He does play games. So like it's like I'd love to add them underneath that umbrella and just pay for that subscription for the month.
I think if I had to make a personal kind of like prediction on that, I do think kind of like family packs for Game Pass are coming. I think that's going to be their way. I'm not sure if they're going to do game sharing anymore. I think to kind of alleviate that issue, I think they are going to do kind of like family packs for Game Pass right there. And that seems to be like right up your alley, Predator. I know it's right up my alley with the 3 kids we have at home. Of course, Snaps as well. All of us being gamers, I think that would just work out
Well, think about it. Like if you have something like that, I mean, like everybody in my house has a phone, right? Cell phone, whatever, or smartphone. Mm-hmm. And if they want to play on that streaming service they have, like everybody has to have their own account. I would have to get a subscription for each person, correct? If I'm thinking logically, right?
Yeah.
So like that's like $15 a month per person. It's bullshit. Like and they want to go from the house to the car and play in the car, and then get to their friend's house and play at their friend's house, something like that. Like I have to pay for that. Whereas if I just had all of that under one umbrella, under one account, and I'm paying 15, even if it's like the ultimate allows you to add 4 people to it, that would be great. I would go for that. So nice. I think it makes sense. But that's the only thing I see that's wrong with that model they're using. Like it's only tied to one person. It should be tied to multiple people.
All right, I got you, brother. I got you. And shout out to Sir X-Man one more time, hitting up that super chat. Brother, thank you so much. He says, why do people act like $60 a year is a lot of money? I don't mind paying the $60 long as my services and my credit card, I guess are functioning, I would say. Brother, it's not just that, all right? You also, in terms of marketing, there's something called mindshare. And Xbox is trying to get the most mindshare that they can right now. They're being pro-consumer on so many levels. One of the biggest things that they can be pro-consumer about, and this is my opinion, is dropping the Xbox Live Gold subscription, because I think within the console gaming space, I think they're the only ones in position to do this. I don't think necessarily Nintendo can do this, and I don't think that Sony can do this with PlayStation either. So when it comes down to it, they want to be known as that platform that has done away with you paying to play online. It's a huge part of mindshare when it comes to the community out there, the consumers out there, and I think that is one of the main reasons why they are going to do this. I think it's a huge it's a huge moment to tell a gamer that usual monthly or yearly subscription that you're doing, you know what? We're doing away with that, and you can just play online. I think that is a huge moment, and I think that's something that Xbox is gearing up to announce to the gamers out there. I think it's going to be a really big moment. Of course, if they do it right. But that's neither here nor there. Let's go with Crispy on this one. Crispy, Halo multiplayer, free to play. You know, of course, you know, there's people on social media scratching their heads. There's some people saying that it's not really going away. They're rolling it into Game Pass, and they're going to force you to subscribe to Game Pass. I don't think that's going to happen. What do you think, bro?
Well, let's be honest for a second. Phil wants to be as consumer friendly as possible. Let's be serious. He has continued to say it. And yes, we can all bring up the VR thing, which, I mean, I will
Which
give
he
it
still
to you.
has to, you know, he has to fulfill that promise, sir.
He does. But the biggest narrative right now is that you cannot play Fortnite without an Xbox Live Gold account.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, they are willing to lose money because in the end, they look so consumer friendly already, but there's this one asterisk, which is that you have to have the gold account to play Fortnite, which a lot of people just enjoy that game. I don't know why. I don't like it, but that's not that's a me problem. That's it. That's all what it comes down to. So,
Dude, we've been saying this for a long time about the free-to-play paywall, but what I'm hearing is they're going to take it that next step further and be like, yeah, we understand about the free-to-play. We apologize, guys. That's going away. But we're going to take away that subscription altogether and let everybody play their paid games and free-to-play games online without a subscription.
and that's where it comes down to xCloud. And I'm not talking about our market. I'm talking about it's getting close to 1 million people using xCloud in South Korea, which is insane. So you don't even know in the Japanese market how many people are using, because they don't give us any type of numbers of anything when it comes to what people are using, especially if it's an American company. They just, it's one of those things like, stuff happened in years ago and they're not going to forget about it. And I don't blame them. So it is what it is. Like the thing about xCloud is that they have rolled it out so well, in my opinion, that I think it could truly replace Xbox Live Gold. And that would give you an incentive to use your phone, tablet, freaking Chromebook like I got sitting in front of me, and just play games and enjoy them if somebody else is playing a different game. And that's pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And on top of it, your Xbox has already become a server, basically. Like, if you're in the vicinity of your Xbox, you can go and play games like it's nothing. And I've had friends that have literally used this when they're sitting on break or something, use xCloud because they got the preview. I have an iOS device, so Apple's going to be...
Well, you got Halo 5 on the iOS, man, for Game Pass. That's it.
Yeah, Apple's going to be really, not going to let it happen. Maybe when it comes out, I think that's when they'll start realizing. But I see so many people using it. Not all the time, and that's not the point of it. The point of it is to have Game Pass, to have you subscribe to it, and to say, hey, if you're going to be, not on your Xbox for a certain period of time, you can also still play those games if you want to. And a lot of people don't experience that. I mean, still, we hear about Stadia, and Stadia, basically you can go online and use it. You know what I mean? But nobody uses it because Game Pass has date exclusives. And regardless of what you think, but if you can play Halo on your damn phone, that's pretty incredible. If you can play Gears on your damn phone, that's pretty incredible. I'm sorry, Ori and the Will of the Wisp. You can play it on your phone. Pretty incredible. And that's the point. Like me, I don't experience that. Like I live by myself with my roommate, and that's it. You know what I mean? So I own what I have, and he's not going to touch it because he's respectful. But some people with kids and wives and everything else that are in the house with you, you're going to be like, okay, I still want to play Halo today, or I still want to play Gears today, or I still want to play Forza today. And all of a sudden, they take over and they play Hellblade or something else, and you're like, oh, I'm not interested in that. So then you go and break out your phone and you start playing on that. That's pretty incredible. I'm sorry. This is good for gaming, okay? Xbox doesn't care. I'll tell you right now, when they put it, when all of a sudden PlayStation accepts it and Game Pass is on PlayStation, that's when we'll see it all. That's what we'll see, because they don't care. They don't. They are a truly software-based company. They've always been. For them to go to Steam and everything else, that's because they acknowledge the fact that Valve has made a great platform on that service. So why not just put our games on there and you see how good they're doing? Microsoft does not care, and Phil doesn't care. Phil wants you to game where the hell you want to game. And that's the whole point.
Well, yeah, but even if like Game Pass, xCloud goes to other consoles, I think we can all agree that if you really want the best way to play those games, it's going to be on some native hardware. You know what I'm saying? Whether, PC, Xbox, stuff like that. I don't see them like putting their games like natively on other consoles. And I do want to shout out real quick, No Russian. No Russian, good to see you, brother. I haven't seen you a while in here, man. It's good to see you. He says, no way they're dropping the paywall completely. It makes the company too much money. A couple weeks back, or maybe a few weeks back, Jeff Grubb, he is an industry guy. He reports on stuff within the gaming industry. Basically did the math and said that if 1 out of every 3 Xbox Live Gold subscribers gets Game Pass, when they drop the Gold subscription, that's the revenue right there. That's all that needs to happen. 1 out of 3 Gold subscribers subscribe to Game Pass. And when you look at it, you look at Netflix, which Jeff also talked about on Crossfire. Netflix, in terms of people who maintain a subscription, it is about 33% of the people who try out the kind of like free trial of Netflix. So about 33% of people who try out Netflix end up subscribing for the long term. So it's not really a far-fetched thing there. They will make revenue off of that.
And it's the pricing thing. Like everybody says, I paid $1 for this amount of time. And I get that. Like they kind of let that go. You know what I mean? I believe that was kind of a glitch. Like they didn't mean to have that happen. But instead of being like this anti-consumer, like you bought it for 2 years, like we're gonna take it away from you, which I've seen Sony do many times, unfortunately. I mean, I've seen many people complain about what they've done, like with like PS Now and stuff, like it basically like they've lost their whole libraries and stuff. Like I
know that situation.
I haven't experienced that on Xbox, and I've been playing on it for like 11 years now, and I didn't experience that on PlayStation before that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, like PlayStation wasn't truly online, but once you slap that hard drive in the back of it, it turned into a totally different thing. And I have had a lot of people that like lived on that, and I didn't live on that. I was more of a single player gamer. As soon as I became a multiplayer gamer, I realized that continually Xbox gives me more multiplayer experiences than PlayStation does, and that's where I always go. Like I want PlayStation to go back to SOCOM days. SOCOM was like a third person, shooting game.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the best of all time. I mean, it's still to this day, and they just
Crispy, you love your third person,
to the
man.
side. I do love my third person. I love that grounded third person. You know what I mean? Like that makes me want to play the game more. I don't like first person. I'm not good at it for some reason. I like to see the whole world like as big as it can be. You know what I mean? And,
Okay.
and even though like I'm not looking at the actual person very well, I still enjoy it more because I could see everything around me. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about third person. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit there and play a single player game the whole time. I want multiplayer elements. Don't get me wrong. I will get into a single player game, but it's that there's nothing else involved besides what I have to experience myself. And I love when people have different reactions than me. I love talking to people, and that's what Xbox gives me.
Nice, brother. And it's kind of funny to see people at the end of the day. I think somebody tweeted out, so many people have been complaining about Xbox Live Gold for so long, and now you're seeing signs that Xbox Live Gold subscriptions could be going away. And instead of getting happy and kind of like tweeting out that this needs to happen, a lot of gamers out there in the community are tweeting out, there's no way that that's possible. They make too much money. And it's like, well, you were also complaining about the gold subscription to begin with. If there is a chance, why aren't you happy with that? Why aren't you being constructive, as Dreadpool would say, and put out there how much you really want that to happen? All right.
Phil, continue to be pro-consumer, and I will be a happy person. I'm sorry, like you shouldn't have to pay to play Fortnite. I am just saying, because whatever you want to call it. 'Cause I'm with you on that. Like I tried it, I didn't like it. You know what I mean? But that's me. But a lot of people love that game, and you know what? It should not be behind the paywall on Xbox. It shouldn't be.
And you just broke while I was taking a vape. There, breathe that out. That was beautiful right there. I think everybody has shared their opinions on this. Correct me if I'm wrong. And did I miss anybody?
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
Oh, who did I miss?
Both of us.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool. And since you called me out on that, Dread, I'm gonna go to K Mega. I'm
Go to Dread first.
Are you?
Go to Dread first.
Okay. All right. I guess K Mega has a few things to say about this real quick. Dread, what do you think about this, man? Like, again, when there was a rumor about Halo Infinite's multiplayer going free to play, that came coupled with another rumor about Xbox Live Gold. So now, with Halo sharing that their new game, Infinite, will have free to play multiplayer, does this kind of solidify more that Xbox will be dropping Xbox Live Gold subscriptions? Or do you think that I'm just kind of like wishing on that shooting star and there's really no kind of like substance behind that?
See, and here's where I'm going to throw some spinning confusion on you.
Oh, no. I can't take more confusion, sir. Go ahead.
All right, here's what I look at. Right now, we're playing Master Chief Collection, and we're playing Halo 5, right? So you choose one or the other, right? There's always going to be people that are on the older version of the game that's all they have, and they're always playing it. But it's always a minority. But when you have two of the biggest Halo games right now, I mean, really, there's not that many people are like, hey, let's play Halo 4. It's either let's play Master Chief Collection or let's play Halo 5.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're splitting the community right there in two. That's your biggest split of your percentages right there between the two franchises.
I'm not confused yet. I'm still with you, bro.
Okay, so when it comes to that, it makes sense to make it free to play. You look at what Call of Duty's doing, right? So everybody's jumping on it. Even if you're not playing the campaign, you're playing that. You know what I mean? You're getting into all the different modes and everything. So if they do the same thing that they're doing with Halo now, you got Fire Team, you got all this stuff going on, but you're all going to the single source, and it's going to be the best source that you can play on. That's going to be Halo Infinite multiplayer, right? So you will have your stragglers, like we talked about before, the hardcore, OG Halo from the Bungie guys. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're still going to have those people. But hopefully it's all mitigated in the end because you're bringing everything together into one.
Well, real quick, and it's funny you say that, Dredd, because what I'm hearing kind of like behind closed doors about the multiplayer is they are going to have playlists for everybody. If you're old school but you still want to be competitive, they got playlists for you there. If you're more of the new school, they have playlists for you there, both competitive and casual in each category. So they are basically catering to just about everybody, if what I'm hearing, again, behind closed doors, is true about the multiplayer.
Right. So now here's the fun part. I don't mind paying for gold, right? Granted, right now I'm on Ultimate, so it's part of my subscription anyway.
Yeah.
Didn't we pay $1 for Game Pass? Right? Who paid $1 for Game Pass for 2 years? Right?
Mooch and Crap did.
Right. So now, when you did that, did you not pay for the 2 years of gold? So you're going to tell me all that the 2 years of gold you didn't pay for? Did you get that for $1 too? No. So they got their money. It was just a conversion to get you over there. Because now that you're over there, you're not paying your $60 a year. You're paying your $15 a month. Okay. So yeah, you might have gotten all these months free, but you're still paying it in the end, because once all that's over, you're at 15. You're not back at 60.
Especially if they drop gold, and this is where I can see, like, my brother's Mooch and Crap. All right, I can see them being upset over this because they thought they got away with something in the system. They're like, we're just going to bump up our Xbox Live Gold subscriptions, and then we're going to pay that $1, and we're going to have, Ultimate Game Pass for like 2 years. And then when they drop that Gold subscription, whatever money they invested in on Xbox Live Gold, instantly now it's transferring to Game Pass that way. It's just something that happens because you don't have to pay for Xbox Live Gold anymore. Then all the money that you just spent, you got your Gold and your Game Pass free for that certain amount of time. But as soon as they drop that subscription, then all that money that you spent towards having Gold for so many years and then just that $1 for Game Pass, now that all turns into Game Pass money.
Well, one clouded Stadia a lot, and you're going to get xCloud right in there. It's going to replace it, and that's the whole point.
Okay.
Right? But here's the other thing though. I also wasn't paying $60 a year for gold. I was paying $40.
Okay.
And how did I do that? Well, when Best Buy had their sales, they were selling it for $40. So that's how I was getting my stuff. I'd buy 2 to 3 years if I could of gold and not have to worry about it. Right? Mm-hmm. So I wasn't spending all that money. Same thing with Stadia. Okay. I'm actually getting it for free because I'm doing this program that they're doing. I just answer a few questions and I get, a couple bucks here and there. And guess what? It's $9 a month, a couple bucks here and there. Every time that they ask me, that's $9. That's free. I'm not paying for it. Okay. So you got to be smart with your money. So if you went ahead and you just got it for $1 and you didn't upgrade your gold, to the maximum that you could have, you're the dumbass. I'm sorry, not being, an ass, but yeah, you're the dumbass. You're the one that wants to complain about it. Like, be smart about your money. Do you go to the what used to be Blockbuster? Remember, you spent what $3 to $5 for a week, right? What are we doing now? We're doing the same thing with Game Pass. We're not spending that much money, but we're getting how many games to play at the same time. We don't have to one game for that 1 week. Okay,
yeah,
so
Blockbuster analogy was very good, dude. Like, that's exactly what I go back to as a person that's been gaming for so long. Like, I played games through Blockbuster many times. I played so many games I don't remember half of them.
Right.
And was the beauty of it. You'd be like, nope, that the game's not for me. Let me put it back. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel like with Game Pass, except I don't have to go to the store anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can mass download a whole bunch of games as long as you have the storage for it.
He can mass
And then you can
download
play.
a bunch of games in his underwear and not leave his house. That's what he's saying right there.
Oh, I would probably leave the house in my underwear anyway.
I'm wearing sandals right now, bro. Come on.
Love
So-
it.
So, but here's the other part, right? I would pay for gold, no problem. Okay, I would pay for that because I want the curation of the security behind Xbox Gold. You know what happens with PC? Once you figure it out, it's nothing like it used to be. I know now it's a lot better than it used to be, but it's still the wild, wild west. If you click on the wrong thing, you know you get an email to, hey, you know what, you can upgrade this on your character and get this free shield or weapon or something, right? Now you got a virus. Why? Because you're a dumbass. You went out to the open world and did that, right? So now this is a closed system. You have a little bit more security. You know, that's the way I'm looking at it. Okay, how many times did Xbox go down? Oh, quite a few times, right? I mean, we had that mass one where Lizard Squad and all them like screwed everybody up for that Christmas.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
did pretty bad too.
They screwed everybody,
Yeah.
right? But that was something that was orchestrated, right? But they found them. It's not like they didn't find them. They found pretty much everybody that was involved. Okay. But who also lost money? Okay. PlayStation lost more money because it was free.
They did.
You know what I'm saying? All their digital stuff, all that stuff. I've had friends that were like, "Screw this! I ain't doing this again." They went to their credit card company and they complained because they're like, "I didn't buy this stuff. I don't even have it on my console. I can't even download it to my console."
Now,
so
Dread,
and,
me personally, I hear you about the protection thing, but I feel like they already established protections when it came to the Azure cloud anyway.
right.
And
I know, and that's what I'm saying. It's a little it's not as bad as it was, you know, with what they told us that it was there for our protection. That's why we're paying for it. And then Sony, when they didn't have it because they had their free version, they all got screwed. And we're like, haha, see, we're right. But that's what they told us. Okay, we don't know what is going on. It's the belief that we're actually getting curation for our protection for all this stuff, right? When you have issues with Xbox Gold or I'm sorry, Xbox Live, there's somebody there, hopefully, to tell you, hey, you know what? Xbox went down because of this, this, and this. We're hoping to get this back up. You see it on tweets from Twitter. You see it on the website that they posted. When you go to Xbox Live network status, something like that, I forgot the full thing. It'll tell you what the status is, right? You don't get that everywhere else. You know, if you're playing on a game company server, shit goes down, you don't know nothing.
Good point, man. I think, you know, for Microsoft to move forward, I think they would have to have kind of like all their bases covered on this. And I think this is something, you know, and K-Mega, you can kind of reply on this real quick. You remember how we talked about how confident Xbox seems moving into Series X? You know, they seem to be incredibly confident, you know, with the games, with the platform, kind of like the direction of the division itself. I really feel like their idea to drop the gold subscription was a big part of that confidence, knowing that they had an ace up their sleeve that pretty much anybody competing in the game industry space didn't have an answer for. I really feel like this is kind of like the culmination of that whole thing. And anybody on the panel, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that was a big part of their confidence moving forward. They knew they had a strong system when it comes to consoles. They really feel like, you know, putting games on PC and stuff like that was definitely a good idea. And you can look at Steam right now in terms of, you know, the Microsoft kind of like first party games that are being played on Steam and stuff. And I think you can say business standpoint, that was a really good decision there. I feel like Xbox Live Gold subscription being dropped was another kind of like element to them being more confident. Anybody have anything to say on that?
No, I agree on that. I think that it just comes to show that they're being more aggressive than what a lot of people was anticipating them being.
Yes.
Because I agree with pretty much everybody here on the sense. I think that it's going to be gone. I think that's and it's because if the one thing keeps going, like if you got the strongest console out there, you have all different types of array of games available for the gamers. And then you also have considered the best multiplayer. I mean, it won awards this generation for its multiplayer online. And the only thing that's holding it back is because of the paywall. Then there should be, and then also, of course, you got to add the being customer friendly, and then also having some of the best services in gaming history with Game Pass. So then you add that part, and the only thing that's standing in its way is the paywall. Then, and if you drop that, then what else can the competition say? What else can the naysayers keep saying to try the things that makes that will stick to Xbox? Because one thing that Microsoft is trying to do, I read this in CNET. This wasn't even about gaming. This was just about Microsoft as a whole and the whole direction that they want to go. They want to try to get away from that the greedy Microsoft mantra. They want to be more friendlier to the consumer and be more open. I think that's one of the reasons why they changing their whole outlook of what they're doing with Windows. I don't know if you were familiar with that, but I'm sure Dreadpool knew something about that when they were doing the stuff with Windows and dropping that and all of that and going a whole nother direction there. So if you see them doing this with Windows, because that is one of their most profitable things that's on their side.
That is their golden egg right there, man.
Yeah, that's their golden egg, and they're dropping that to where they're not going to charge people now. Then obviously, then this was the next step forward, and I think now that and I think Azure is now being number one and it's kind of pushed Windows down, and Xbox even at I believe last year, because there was a lot of people debating me on that, and they were outselling Windows. I think now they're saying, well, we take away this paywall, just think about how much more how many more gamers we can attract just by that alone. And then we'll also hit them across the head with the free to play Halo, and then we got no paywall. That's with all the rest of the things they got available. That's insane.
Yes.
So the only thing so they're going to make their money one way or the other. I think the only narrative that people will try to use against it is just this whole thing that I was talking to you guys when we first started the show, is where they were trying to say, well, now you're paying twice as much instead of for what you're paying than what you were paying with the $60 or even less. Because I was paying, I knew a couple of people that could give me some Xbox Gold for $35. So I said, I hit them up. I stacked up for 2 years. And so then on top of that, then we got the Game Pass, and then we got the Game Pass stuff out there at E3, and then we put that on, and then when they added the promotion, it was like boom. And then if you notice, everybody's Game Pass is done by 2020. I mean, Xbox Live is pretty much done by 2022. So which means that should tell, or it's 2022 or 2023.
2022.
2022.
Me too.
Yeah, it should be 2022 with the those that
trust me, I hear it a lot from my friends. 2022.
Right.
It'll be the end of 2022, but there will be some 2023. But I see what you're saying.
Right, and so therefore that tells you right there that there's a move being made. Because why is everybody's Xbox Live stop at that point? And so
that's when they stop supporting the X, isn't it?
That's I believe so. Because that's when they're going to start doing everything else. Pret, you hit it right on the head. I was just going to say that. So just think about that. And then we're going into the new era of Series X, which means they're all in. when Phil Spencer had that conversation with the new CEO, he came to them and he said that in that article from GameSpot, we're either going to be all in or we shouldn't even be doing this shit. Pretty much. Like I'm not gonna do no tippy toe. I'm not doing no damn. I'm not doing no soft shoe bullshit. We've already done that with Don Matrick and then the person that was in charge and all this stuff. Look how this shit turned out. Let me have full reign, or let's just go ahead and let's just cancel Xbox and let somebody else buy it.
Phil Dominus,
and that's exactly what just happened. And so now, since Phil got full reigns, and now they're seeing Xbox just hit record profits yet again in third place from what people say. And that has never happened in gaming history, and especially having a bad start, a ridiculous like Sega shut down start for a company, and then they evolve and change up, and then now they're making record profit, and just by the end of the generation, tell me what other company has done that? So obviously, and all you have to do now is just take away the paywall. Do you not know how many people are going to jump on that? Just alone, and the one last point I want to make to
casual market, if they market it right,
that's it, because that's casuals aren't loyal. Why that's the reason why Stan's be cracking me up, man. Because you know who's got the PlayStation to the point that it is the casual market. It wasn't y'all's cheap asses. It was the casuals.
Oh damn!
It wasn't your little
I still
tired
don't know who
ass
Stan
group.
is, but I guess he's cheap.
But Stan is cheap. So you know what I'm saying? It wasn't their tired asses. It was the casual market because of the whole narrative, and also the fact that it was $100. I've said that a million times. I'll keep saying that. And if Xbox comes in at the same price as the PlayStation 5 with all of these factors available day one, when you get that damn console and plug it in and hook it up, and you got all these games available, and you don't have no paywall, and we got the economy that we got, it's a win. If you sit there and you think about, or if they even go cheaper, or when you know where the Lockhart is real, and if that bad boy is significantly cheaper, then they're going to be winning. They're going to dominate. It's not even going to be funny. I know that people think that I'm crazy just because of PlayStation's domination this generation. Think about just how PlayStation got there.
Dude,
with the casual market because of the price. If this is real, it's a wrap.
If this comes to fruition, I wouldn't want to compete. I wouldn't want to be there.
So what is Sony going to do? What is Sony going to do? That is the one thing that people have been saying. Oh, look at what this little company's doing compared to this big juggernaut. You woke that bitch up. Now what's going to happen? You know what Sony's going to do? They're going to play ball. They're going to play ball. That's exactly what's going to happen.
You got an actual gamer. Gamer at the hot seat, sitting there next to Satya. You got an actual gamer that understands that we game, even the hardcore or the casual. He doesn't care. When you see Grounded released, when you see Bleeding Edge released, you know what? You get shit on them all you want, but in the end, those games people enjoy. Somebody enjoys them, and that's the whole point. Because how many times is he's sitting there touting old games because he enjoys them and he loves them, and that's why we saw Battletoads not like really change, which I thought they would. They didn't. But at the end of the day, I'm still sitting there like, yes, I mean, everything like that.
Everything that Xbox has been made fun of for the last year, it's kind of just thrown to. Let's just put this in perspective. Now, since Phil has got in the thing, how many L's has Phil really took? 2 at the most, if you think about it, or 3.
VR, and what
Scalebound and Crackdown 3. And I don't even put Scalebound. Scalebound just had to be done because Platinum Games was over there just making an ass out of Phil Spencer, right? Like that. So I don't even consider that an L. Some will, because there was like me that wanted to get the thing, but I'm not going to give them an L for that. anybody that has a right mind is not going to get ran over. You keep going into a shop and you ask and you want to get you're trying to get your car fixed, and every time you go in there, well, I need more money for this, I need more money for that, I need more money for this. Well, where's the damn mechanic? I came to go pick up my car. Oh, he had to take off. He had mental breakdown. What? And then next thing you know, he's driving a car. He's driving. He's all, but all these other cars that he's got that he's been
They're coming in and going out.
They're coming in and going out, and they're looking better than ever. But I'm still waiting to. I'm still pouring money into this dude to fix my car. And then when I finally eventually I get to see my car for the first time in a long time, and that damn thing still look like a putt, like I just before I broke it in. Hell no, y'all gonna sit there and y'all gonna be tripping, and people are gonna really might hurt that damn mechanic. So again, listen, the Scalebound thing was not a fail. So if you really think about it, the VR thing could be the L, and Crackdown 3 can be the L. Everything else that Phil has been a part of right now has been absolutely on par, on the winning strategy for Xbox to come back stronger than ever. So, and if they do this with Xbox Live, you know what I'm saying? It's like I've always said, I'm going to always support Xbox Live because I feel about the protection. Now, what Dredd said made a lot of sense. Is it really the protection now since they got those Azure servers? So they're going to really have to take care. Or
real quick, shout out to No Russian because he said, so are we no longer protected by their security if we're no longer required to pay? Come on, guys, use your brains. And I'm saying that they already have embedded security in the Azure platform that businesses take full advantage of, at no extra charge at that point in time, but they have revenue coming in off the Azure, to maintain that security there. Why not bring it over to Xbox at like no extra charge? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Xbox is a app based. That's what it is. It's app based, and app based requires firewalls and other such things.
Right.
Like when you boot up certain apps,
right?
They're apps. You know what I mean? It's just like your cell phone. Okay.
Yeah. No. What I was just going to say with that though, before you made it long-winded, I just want to finish my last point. I'm sorry.
I just want to finish my last point. God damn it!
My last point is
you gotta get out of here.
Yeah. If it could be a situation where it could be the have and have-nots. I don't think it's going to be that way. But obviously they have a trick up their sleeve to try to make it happen. Because like I said, I do believe everybody. I do believe everybody on the panel. When they say that it's going to be gone, I really do think this is the beginning of the end. This is it. This is it. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. Well,
no. The funny thing about that is with saying this is it, to see kind of like the pushback out there on social media where gamers do have a voice, they put it out there. To see such a pushback over something that would be good for gaming in general is just absolutely ridiculous to me.
Right.
But on that note, Crispy, say what you gotta say, and then we'll get into the outros. People gotta get out of here, man.
Yeah, Xbox is a user interface. So, in general, like from what I see from PlayStation compared to Xbox, I understand that it looks like you're clicking on an app, but it's more online based because they don't have the infrastructure that Microsoft has. And that's where your security comes involved, because there are firewalls, there are like nuances that they know more than any of us. You know what I mean? That they can figure out things before most other companies would, and they continue to do that. They continue to say, "Hey, we see you having problems," and then 2 hours later, it's fixed. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I love that. Microsoft continues to say, you know what? I understand that it's going to cause negative, information through Twitter or whatever, but we continue to tell you when we see a problem and we're going to fix it. And that's something that you just don't see anymore. Everybody's trying to throw shade and trying to be hiding their problems. No, just go out in front and say, yes, there's a problem, we're gonna fix it. And I see it through games, through the actual services themselves. I see it all the time. And hours later, it is done, it's over with, and nobody's talking about it. And that's what I love about Xbox.
Nice, brother. And on that note, just real quick, on No Russian, he says Azure is enterprise, not entertainment. And dude, I agree with you 100. I agree with him 100%. But the thing is, enterprise, dealing with corporations, dealing with companies, and having their money in your Azure cloud means that you have to have incredible security when it comes to hacking and stuff like that as well. That's other people's money right there. So that
didn't Sony make a contract with Azure?
Did they make a finalized contract with them? Or?
Yes, they
Yeah.
did.
Okay.
Yes, they did.
So, wait a second. So that's not gaming?
And I mean, a lot of and also, I mean, aren't they going to be using these Azure servers a part of xCloud? So that's a part of gaming as well, right?
Yes.
Everybody's
sir.
forgetting that the U.S. government
I'm just saying,
paid a lot of money to Microsoft.
I'm just saying the Azure
point,
platform, because it's used for more than just gaming, has to have an incredible amount of security in it to begin with. A lot of the hiccups that we see, a lot of the times where people are like, oh, they can't get online, and you see Xbox support saying, oh, we're looking into issues and stuff like that. None of that has to do with hacking anymore, like the Lizard Squad from a few years back. Like, yeah, when you look at it, there's been issues within the service, you know what I'm saying, that they take care of. But when it comes to hacking, I haven't heard anything about that when it comes to the Azure platform with Xbox or with
credit
Enterprise.
cards on my Xbox.
Oh,
I'm just
let's hack into to Crispy's account there, and let's get some numbers going, man. But
that reminds me. Last year, Centurion said something, and all of a sudden he got hacked.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was last year. Was it last year or the year before?
Dude up.
Centurion said something. He got hacked, and Xbox sent him an email right away saying, "Hey, there was a problem with your account. We locked it down." Sony didn't say nothing.
Oh, damn.
No.
So,
damn.
yeah, so watch out what you say. You may
Bring it
fight
on.
yourself to
That's
it.
what I say. Bring it on.
All right, but guys, I gotta say, all in all, panel, absolutely great show. So much to talk about. Yo, we could have kept going. We didn't even get on the rumors when it comes to Spider-Man being in the Avengers game only on PS4, stuff like that. We are in that point in time where there's just so much news, but I think we came out and we shared topics that not a lot of people were talking about, you know, when it comes to podcasting this week. And that's one of the things I do look for when it comes to this show. Not only will we talk about the important things, but have topics there that not a lot of people are talking about that are interesting. I think we did that today. Shout out to you guys on the panel. You guys have made this show absolutely outstanding. And huge shout out to the chat. You guys have been absolutely incredible today. The talk in the chat, responding to what we're talking about, all that good stuff. Yo, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. But like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get those plugs in. And I smile every time I say that because I know Snaps absolutely hates when I say that. So, yeah, guys, we got to go in. We got to get our outros. I am going to start with Dreadpool again. You know, sacrificing his time that he could be playing games, but coming here and talking games with us, you know, due to the fact that Dark is out there lounging on a boat somewhere in a lake that he said that I just wouldn't survive in for some reason. I don't know why. But Dread, again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Your opinions. I love the fact how you don't hold back when you have an opinion, and you have facts to back it up. So it's not like you're just like speaking from your heart. You got heart and mind kind of like working together. Absolutely love that about you, brother. Why don't you let people know where they can go to talk games with you? And of course, it is the outros. Anything else you want to announce? Anything else you want to say? Now is the time, bro.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you to everybody in the chat for showing up. Thank you guys to the panel for letting me be how did I say, Dark Optimus's stunt double?
His stunt double.
So,
he is the bearded wonder.
But you gotta grow a mullet for that, though, dude. Do you really want to do that?
Have you seen how long my hair is? I could never grow a mullet. I'd have to cut it.
You'd have to
into a
shave the
mullet.
sides, man. Don't do
I'd
it.
have to cut it. Yeah, that ain't happening. But you got to remember, we're not playing checkers. They're playing chess. Okay, so we can't just take the little pieces that we think when they're playing a better game. Okay, so also this week, I just want to let you guys know, I didn't tell you guys, but some people did find out. I actually hit 100 followers or 100 subs on YouTube, so I got to actually have a custom URL. I was like
Yes.
shocked, right? So I finally got that going. So, I can actually say YouTube/C/Dreadpool. So that's amazing for me. And also just before that, I actually hit 1,000 Twitter followers. So that's
Nice.
another accomplishment for me that I wasn't
2
expecting.
milestones, bro.
2 milestones, right? So thank you to everybody for supporting me and supporting the next podcast too. Because I mean, you guys brought me on. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here.
Dude, if it wasn't here, it would have been somewhere else, man. I'm glad that you
Well,
accepted invites to come here, bro.
Everybody had a part of it. Okay, it wasn't just one or the other, but
Yeah.
everybody had a piece. If it wasn't for you guys, you're right. It might have been somebody else, but how much longer would have that been? You know what I'm saying? So everybody gets a piece of it. It's not just one thing or the other, but you guys do deserve part of it. You guys did help me out. I've been on the show several times. I'm kind of family, so you guys actually made a big part of it too. It wasn't just I was on a show, that's it. No, I was on multiple shows with you guys.
Dude, you've been in the DM for how many months now?
Exactly. And how long have I been on Mel's channel for like the longest time that we've talked about? You know what I mean? So it's been in the past. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, so there's no
like
kinda. You're family, brother.
Yeah,
Let's drop the kinda part, okay?
Yes. All right. So kinda, not kinda.
Kinda, not kinda. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. So yet again, thank you everybody. Hitting the 2 milestones. It was, like I said, it was a big accomplishment for me that I wasn't even planning on. I just found out after the fact. It was like, what? When did this happen? So, but you can find me at Twitter at Dreadpool. The O's are actually zeros. YouTube/C/Dreadpool. My gamer tag is Dreadpool. And yes, I've already mentioned it before. I am still on Stadia because it's free for me. And it's Dreadpool also. No longer on Mixer.
I don't think anybody is. Nobody's
No,
on Mixer.
nobody is. So don't look for me there.
Nice, brother. I'm gonna bring it over to K Mega next. And K Mega, after hearing Dreadpool, do you remember when you hit 100 subs, how big it was to be able to like customize your URL and everything, man? Again, congratulations, Dread. K Mega, that's a big kind of like milestone, like on a YouTube journey.
That is huge. Yeah, that is huge. That lets you know when you got 100 people that like you, man. That means the world to you, man. So I know that feeling, and man, congratulations. You know what I'm saying? So it's and I hope you a lot of success, brother. I really do. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's the whole reason of getting on here and talking and just conversing with other gamers. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing. So yeah, no, congratulations. But yeah, you can catch me on my channel, KMega405. Man, I really appreciate the love that I've been getting, especially now since I've been throwing out I've been coming like at all different times, doing they about as long as podcasts, but just me doing a couple of videos
podcast
and stuff. Yeah, but and thanks for the support on GRG, man. I really appreciate that. So check us out every Friday night, 8:35 Central Time, which is the Lord's time always.
Oh my goodness.
And then check me out on since I am a Mixer refugee myself, I'm on Twitch now, and it's just KMega405, just all one word, man. Come and check me out. I'm pretty sure that I'll be on there to stream sometime. I'm tripping out because I'm been stuck on this one thing, trying to find out and if this prompt is not pulling up on Ghost of Tsushima, and I've been messing with this for the last hour, so it's pissed me off. It's really pissed me off. Fred, where was the part where the people, they look like these people are getting put in the die or something, and I found the person in the pot with that's they had to die, but I don't know where the hell is the other place.
We'll
to
talk
go
about
look.
that offline.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, yo,
I've been tripping with this shit for
welcome
an
to
hour.
next
Like, what's going on? Why I
podcast,
can't
tips
get
and
it?
tricks, baby. Tips and tricks.
Anyway, yeah, come check me out tonight. Me and Don will definitely be doing some streaming. And man, let me think. Anything else? I can't think of anything else, man. Thank you guys. Bye.
Nice, brother. Yeah, and again, shout out to the Don, man. It was really good seeing him in chat. I didn't know if he wanted to jump on. I didn't get any messages on.
Oh,
Twitter
Fight
or
Night.
anything.
That's what I was. Fight Night.
Mortal
tomorrow
Kombat
night.
starting.
Yes, Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
We'll start Mortal Kombat 11 for our Fight Night Sundays, and we'll start
And
it.
Crispy got to be there, man. I'm sorry.
And we'll start a little
Why?
earlier.
You want to get beat again, bro?
Hey.
Like, what's good?
Bring it, sir. Bring it.
8:30. We'll start a little bit early. 8:30 Central Time, the Lord's time. So
Dude,
be
you gotta
ready
throw
for
that
I
in,
can do
man.
that.
You
I
are
can
not
do
the
that.
originator of the Lord's time. Yo, we all said East Coast was the Lord's time. You're trying to hijack that for your damn self, man. It's not gonna work.
It's just what it is. Fred admits that, so it is what it is, man.
Oh,
We are the
now
salt of the earth people out here.
He brought Pred into it as well. Pred was not saying anything about it. He was minding his own business, and you're trying to bring him into it. Well, since you're trying to bring Pred into it, let's bring Pred in so this way he can let people know where they can go to talk games. And Pred, as usual, man, anything to announce? Yo, now is the time, brother.
Actually, it's the great nation of Texas time. So that's what you're supposed to be saying.
I
Predator
can't stand you guys right now.
underscore H2OS pretty much everywhere. Catch you guys next week. I'm gonna jump on some grounded here after the show for a little bit. If anybody wants to hop on, and
Hell yeah, dude. I'm down.
and that's
I'm
it.
down. See,
I'm
I booted it
definitely
up.
down,
I got
bro.
the update. I'm down.
All right,
Definitely.
I'm jumping in, Pred, but I don't know as much as like Mad Skills and O Snaps. I just want to let you know that, okay?
Thank you, Iron Mike. I've been running around this damn place forever. Okay, all right.
Iron Mike, good job, brother. It's like Tips and Tricks show, but reversed, where the chat will let us know what we're doing wrong in a game. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Boy.
I think we got a show in the making here, by the way. I'm just
I know,
saying.
tips and tricks. That's right. Yeah, that means you got to be playing some games to get to talk about tips and tricks.
Anytime we're not doing gameplay in terms of voting for the best gameplay, all the gameplay you see is my gameplay. I play games, bro. Just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Just throwing it out there, man. Yo, next, but certainly not least, of course, very opinionated gamer. Glad he is a part of this show and shows up here just about every week. He has a better show up, kind of like, he has a better track record than our brother Dark Optimus. It is Crispy Bomb. Crispy, now is the time. You are on multiple shows. You are doing multiple things within the gaming community out here. So let people know about the shows you're on, what you're doing throughout the week, and of course, where they can go on social media to talk games with you, brother.
Of course, man. And you know what? Shout out to the Dreadites, man.
I am number one Dreadite. I'm sorry.
100 subs, yo. Congratulations, man. Like, seriously. Like, you know, I've had a lot of people that already hit me up like, oh, you should start your own, you know, channel and this and that. And I'm like, I can't do it. I don't have the quality involved that I need to have. I don't have the computer. I don't have any of that. But it's a thought down the road when I have the funds. You know, the budget.
He's thinking about it, people.
Not involved.
He's thinking about it, people.
I'm you know, I thought I was going to get some really good money, and then I got screwed, but that's retail for you, people. Just let you know. Yeah, it's at Crispy Bomb.
You don't take your checks and then pay for prostitutes, man, because that's how you get money and then get screwed.
No,
No?
So bad.
Okay, my bad.
That is way off.
You get other things.
Not every joke is a home run, people.
But at Crispy Bomb on Twitter, and you can find me on Retro Renegades 7 p.m. Tuesday nights. And yeah, I apparently I'm going to be on Crossfire.
Woo!
Friday.
Oh my goodness.
unless he decided to get into vacation mode and forget about what he said to me. Mooch has invited me, and I will be good. I'll be a nice guy.
Dude, just send him a DM on Twitter and be like, yo, are we still good for this coming Friday? That's all you got to do. It's what I did, and eventually I ended up a weekly panel member. That's how that works.
I got you. And I'll tell you right now, like, I love gaming. Like, that's the whole point of it. Like, we can disagree, but as long as we're respectful, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? You know more about one game than the other. Bot knows more about Destiny. He knows I'm more about Gears. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love. You know what I mean? Like we can, I could sit there and just be silent, and that's the whole point. Like, I get it. Like, people talk shit. They say stupid shit on Twitter, but as long as they're not like going at you as a personal level, I think you can listen to what they have to say, even though sometimes it seems fraudish. Just saying.
Yo, when people come at me personally, I'll let you know right now. First off, I give them no space in my mind, right? And I just keep going. Like, you're gonna look stupid on social media, and I'm not even gonna pay attention to you. That's pretty much what I do.
That's what I do now too. Thank you for saying that, because that's really what I do now, and that's like. Wilmy Hood was like, block people, and I'm like, you know what? Let me block people. There we go. See, that's what I do.
I don't resort to blocking, because as soon as you block them and they try to say something to you, it would be like, oh, you're blocked, and people use that as a trophy. So I know it works for Wilmy. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying everybody don't block people, but what I do, I mute people, and then I never see their comments again, and they don't even know. They have no idea. All right,
well, maybe that's my problem, because I mute people, and then all of a sudden I still see their comments. Dude.
Because it'll say, click this to view it, and you're like, who said something? And you click on it all the time. That's what you do, bro.
Yeah, well, I like to argue, dude. You know this. Come on.
But as usual, yo, Crispy, always great to have you on, brother.